I'm a goddamn superhero. I'm a goddamn superhero.
How is it going, everyone? Happy Valentine's Day and welcome to Carrion Comfort Studios. It's I, Wes Franks, or Brother Wes, and we have for you the next thrilling episode of Crack the Sky Alpha. Before we get started into our game here, I want to go over a few announcements very quickly. This upcoming weekend, there are no shows in production because Virtual HorrorCon's happening. So we will be running actual plays for Virtual HorrorCon here on this channel. So if you are interested in that, or if you have any interest in being in games that are run by some of the people that you see here, as in our very own Ben, our PINTO is running games, as well as Zeke. Saturday is running games here. I will be in production mode the entire time, so I'll either be running games or that are on stream, or in games that are on stream, or I'm just going to be running streams the entire time. You will also see Zak Vaudo as well here on stream as well, and maybe Leslee. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Nobody tells me anything. It's fine. But yeah, so you can go to www.virtualhorrorcon.com because that is where you will find the schedule for panels, actual plays, and then you can also get tickets to play in non-streamed games that were run by professional game masters, on top of private workshops where you can go, not one-on-one, but you and a group of people that's a little bit smaller, a little bit more personal than a panel, can work with two industry professionals, asking them questions, things like how to get into voice acting in the industry, how to work on tabletop books and with community content, or working freelance, or doing streams, this kind of content that you see here tonight. So check out www.virtualhorrorcon.com. Hit us up on Discord. We just started a Valheim server. It's very exciting. It's moving like wildfire between it. I'm going to start organizing some watch parties for stuff. All that good stuff. So yeah, we will be back with Crack the Sky. Not this weekend, not next weekend, but the weekend after. Because next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, Natalie Pudum and Stephanie of Charm Person Games are going to be running and starting off their flagship show, their traveling show of sorts, called Adventures Unknown, where they take some time to go to different channels and they run games, run some one-shots, showcasing indie developers' works that they've been working on, the games that they've been working on here. So you can go ahead and check that out. Oh gosh, I did not update the stream. Oh, poor Wes, poor Wes. This is not... Of course, I knew I forgot something. This is what I get for taking a shower. Here we go. Let me go ahead and take care of that real quick. Perfect. All right, there we go. Boom. And just like that, we are updated. Thank you. We could have been werewolves in disguise, werewolves and mechs. Okay, excellent. So I think that is all the announcements that I've got for you. Virtual HorrorCon and then Adventures Unknown coming up. And there might be more at the end of the stream. I don't know. But I want to get right into it. So, last time on Crack the Sky Alpha, the Oblivion Unit-01, were on board the Mirror Messiah, where they were given a mission to do a orbital drop from the Mirror Messiah onto the surface of the planet Karelia to provide backup and support for the NSF, because they are under the New Solidarity Front, because they were under attack by the New Humanity Coalition. Two different branches of the same arm of Union that were taking shots at each other over this planet for some reason, because there are minerals and materials that would be very useful in their exploration of space, in their founding of different frontier worlds, different outposts, and so they've been taking pot shots at each other. Upon landing on the surface of the planet, the Oblivion Unit of the Vulture Brigade began battle with the NHC, the New Humanity Coalition. It seemed seemingly one-sided until two members of the Six Skulls showed up, a rival mercenary group. They did battle. Things were looking to go into the way of the Oblivion Unit when suddenly the Earth started quaking. It started to move, and then worms started erupting from the ground. Keep your comments to yourself, Ben. But due to that, the battle seemingly won, and worms chased off. We are now gathered with the Oblivion Unit after battle for Episode 2 of Crack the Sky Alpha, Transmission 2, Divinations. So, Oblivion Unit. With Domino shot down, and it seems that Mona Naito has also been shot down as well. Barricade. And the worms have been chased away. What are you doing now?
Really quickly, I'm going to open up the hatch to the mech, and I want to see if I can spot where Domino ejected to, if he's still Earthside or if he, got taken out somewhere, because it looked like a parachute ejected.
Okay.
So I can find this guy.
Go ahead and just give me a systems roll real quick. To see, as you bring up your scanners, to see if you can get any tracer of him.
That is a 12.
12. Excellent.
Yeah.
So as you bring up your sensors on your heads-up display and you start scanning over to the direction where you shot down Domino, you can see distantly about 2 miles away, 3 miles away, there seems to be a pillar of smoke rising from where you shot it down, but you're not picking up any life signs.
Shit. Well, shit. Well, and I'll say over comms. Well, either Domino is dust or he made it off the rock. I'm not quite sure which.
Well, he did get eaten by a giant worm.
You hear over your systems, all over your comm systems. This is Captain Lily Doyle of Dailor's Fingers Outpost. Thank you for your backup. I am assuming you're Oblivion Unit -01. Copy?
Name in progress.
That's right, Captain. Apologize for my comrade here. And it's the least we could do. This is what the Oblivion Unit gets paid for. We need to head back into base. We have some repairs we need to make, and just need to take stock and everything after that hot LZ, if that's all right.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna want to bring your mechs in really quick. When you're out there on the surface and everything, it's gonna get kind of icy out there. You can already notice that your mechs are starting to frost over.
No need to worry about the frost. We've got plenty of space grease. We're on our way in. Oblivion Unit, let's get in formation and head in.
Yes, sir.
Before we head in, I know that we were told to try and grab samples of life forms. I think ICEBOX wants to try to take a look and see if she can see anything on the ground.
Okay.
Or because we shot at a giant worm, did any of it flake off, kind of?
I believe that was mentioned.
Yes, it did. Yeah, you can tell there's as it's starting to freeze over quickly, but you can still see in the holes in the ground where the worms had penetrated that there is indeed an area where there is plenty of samples, tissue samples, and the like there. You go ahead and you move your Munster over. And I like to imagine that there's a small arm that comes out of the front of Munster and does a quick scoop up of some tissue and then brings it into your cockpit and then you go ahead and put it into some tubes and get it ready.
Perfect.
Excellent. So, do you all move in formation towards the outpost?
As we're not told what formation to move in, I'm just going to move towards the outpost.
Perfect. So you all start making your way over in a hectic hodgepodge like formation, no really form or function to it at all. As the loading doors, and you notice now that there's towers on the front of this outpost. It's these tall, like 30-foot tall walls. And there's towers above where you can see that there are cannons. And you see that drop shot, Heracles Garza, is moving his way down. And he goes, go ahead, make your way in. I'm going to do some scans out here. Get used to the, I guess, our home for right now. And he starts climbing down from the tower that he had taken his sniper position in. As these heavy metal doors that have the NSF logo on it, it's this giant tree where the branches reach out and then they come back in on themselves into the trunk, and the trunk's roots come back into themselves. It seems like it's almost like a Celtic tree of life as it forms into each other, and you see it, like NSF stamped over it. Seems to be their logo. The doors open, and you notice that what looked like just an open air, as you're looking into this and you start moving your way past the gates, there's a sort of dome over the outpost, like a terrestrial dome. And you can see there's glowing orange lines. There's a hexagonal pattern that it's made out of. Glowing orange lines. And you notice that there's reduced snow in here. But it doesn't cut back too much on the cold. You can still see that there are different buildings. They're grab and go buildings they're pods that they can combine together, move together on drop ships, pick them up and airlift them out and move them back into orbit. Really quick and dirty sort of base situation here. But you can still see that they have like those outdoor like heaters that you see at bars and like in pubs that like people gather around when it's cold. You still see those dotted periodically around these different buildings, and you see different NSF soldiers walking about in big bulky parkas with their rifles over their shoulders, looking like they are ready to bottle it, like to settle down for this constant winter. You see walking up in her mech, this clunky mech. And you can see there are other mechs. They seem to be like loader mechs, more so. They seem more like they're built for moving materials instead of combat. And hers seems to be retrofitted, where it was a loader mech that was turned into a combat unit. She comes up to you and she goes, "We have a docking bay over here. Follow me. We've cleared out some space for you. We don't have much use for them because, well, as you can tell, we're kind of hard out for supplies right now. Follow me." Turns, makes their way. You follow her down the line, down rows, and these soldiers are all turning and looking at you. And she takes you to this pavilion type area. It's this like outdoor pavilion where they have heaters all around it. And there's these different bays, and there's 7 bays that are unmanned. And you see that there are 3 more bays that are manned with more mechs that look to be about the same state of hers. She goes over your comms again, and she goes, "Go ahead, take into your space. We have 3D printers prepared for any engagements. We also have some reps from different companies here. If you need to make any changes in our outfits to your different mechs. I'll be in the command post." You see her point with her mech arm to this bigger, like, pod-like building, waiting for you, just in case. And she gets into her bay, the mech squats down, and hatch opens, climbs out, and you see a woman with long black hair that's been tied into a braid, wearing the brown and red uniform of the NSF immediately grabbing a parka that's on a hook and wrapping herself up into it. She has an eye patch over one eye and a scar coming down from it and going towards her mouth and down on her neck. And she immediately grabs a canteen about like this one and guzzles from it and starts walking hurriedly towards the command post. What do you do?
Charming. And I'll get my mech like walked up into the hangar, open up and exit the mech just to let it vent.
As you start moving into your port and the hatch opens, you hear a hiss and there's steam coming from like the warmth combating against the cold outside, and instantly you're like sweating, and so you've been in a hectic combat, and you can feel it freezing on the back of your neck.
Yep, nothing new. Yeah, I'll just I'll head down, dismount. Let the ventilation of the heat just re-warm me.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna have a similar moment, but I'm gonna walk right up to
Stall.
HELLBEAST.
HELLBEAST, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
You're fine.
Still learning everyone's characters' names. So Riker will walk right up to Stall after getting out of his mech, and just kind of look at the heat coming off of it and say, "Oh, some fancy flying back there."
Oh, that's what they pay me for.
Yeah, well, it kind of goes beyond that. You did something really good back there, taking out that mech. I thought we were screwed. So, may have saved my life and the life of the crew.
Like I said, that's why I'm here.
Sure.
You did good out there. You did good out there trying to wrangle all the greenhorns up into one position. Keep it up.
Yeah,
They need someone to listen to.
I think every squad needs a captain.
Don't get ahead of yourself there, but yeah, follow the leader is definitely important. Otherwise, we're all going to be running around shooting at everything that moves, which can be fun in its own right, but hey.
Yeah, I get worried about civilians and everyone else in situations like that. It wouldn't kill you to fall in line too.
That's not what they pay me for.
Well, I know your antics were useful in this past excursion, but next time we drop into a hot LZ like that could mean someone's life.
That's why I drop in fast.
All right, Stall. I'll see you around camp.
As the rest of you are getting ready into your bays and everything, I like to imagine Stahl walking off towards the command pod, and then there's like one of the mechanics there that has like a can of something in his hands, and he's sitting and talking to one of the other mechanics, and then Stahl just grabs it from him and just starts walking past.
I really like that Riker just tried. That was such a manager thing to do, to walk up and give a compliment and then give critical feedback. Like, that was a straight up compliment sandwich, and I love it.
Riker, middle management. So there we go. What are the rest of you doing? Following Stahl? Yeah, go ahead, Drift.
All right. So I lock up, I hop out, music's blaring, I shout across, "Yo, Pinto! Nice kill!"
And
Pinto, as he gives you a thumbs up. And you see him crack a beer.
"Hey, Weekender! Thanks for the cover."
Hey, no problem. That's what I'm here for.
And then I just backflip off of the rail onto the ground, and I head to the restaurant.
Perfect. Head to the restroom.
Hey, Pinto, you got any more of those cold ones? I think we could all use one. Also, I've got an extra gallon tub of space grease in my back if anyone needs it.
He'll pull the rest of his six-pack out of his cockpit.
Hell yeah.
You hear from one of the mechanics across the way. Did you say space grease?
Yeah. We should have some around here, right?
Somebody walks up, curly hair, fade that goes into curly hair, blonde hair, then like has like a scarf wrapped around their face. Kind of small, slight, about 5'2", and where you can just see like bundled up scarf, parka, and like mechanics overalls. Looks up to you, Riker, and goes, "We've been out of space grease for weeks. We could use much more. Do you have more coming?"
Yeah, we have an industrial grade tub coming. One of those big metal barrels. I don't know exactly how big they are, but I'm sure you've seen them.
50-gallon drum. Perfect. Standard issue. Space grease. Perfect. Do you mind if I use some of yours?
Well, the thing is, we've got a job to do here, and we might need it for the crew.
Look, please.
Gotta make sure my team's taken care of first.
Listen,
Just let the man have the grease.
Turtleneck, listen here. You keep talking, jibber-jabbering all this time. I have job I must do. I promise you, I will get you back space. I will pay you double in your space grease if it's so important to you. I shall get you back your space grease once we get our requisitions dropped off. Please.
When is that exactly?
We're supposed to
Right
be...
here.
Been doing without for a long time.
It's going to be...
Is already in orbit. Like, come on.
Look, we are not like you. We are not fancy mercenary company operation that does things for profit. We are on budgetary strains, all right? So I just wish for you to give me some space grease. I will pay you back space grease in double once requisitions come back. And that is going to be in 2 days.
Hang on. Let me hear out Saturday here. Saturday, what do you think? You think we should give it to him?
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll look over at this space Russian.
Thank you.
Listen, your shitty base isn't my crew's shitty problem. But just this once, you can have this. Just make sure you pay us back pronto.
Jornsen, did you hear that? Our shitty base is not his shitty problem. Last time I checked there's Flyboy. This shitty base is what you're getting paid for. Look, you can talk shit all you want to with your big fancy mechs and everything like that. I'd like to see you walk around here without that big fucking robotic suit and see if you don't freeze your nuts off. If you haven't frozen them off already. I've been here for the past 3 months, making sure that all of these are taken care of. I don't need your shit right now, okay?
Hey! Just from across the hangar, like, Stahl's coming back, he's stolen some dude's food at this point. Like, hey! The fuck is everybody yelling about?
I'm asking for some...
Being an asshole, won't just give this poor man some grease.
Can I real quick grab this guy by the shirt and just say, listen up, asshole. Until you felt the icy chill of space, I don't want to hear shit about the cold. Leave my crew alone. Take your space grease and get the hell out.
I'm gonna need you to make a roll. If you have a trigger that you think would be applicable, please use that.
Full rank. I have survive. Either of those.
I think
full rank would work.
Pull rank definitely would work. Yeah, here in this, because you are while you have no actual rank in this operation, you are their saving grace essentially. So go ahead and make that roll for me.
Yeah.
I'll walk up after this exchange happens.
That's a 10 on the dot.
10 on the dot? Okay, that just passes.
Yep.
Just success. You like grab them and then let them down. And they go, fine, I apologize. It's been very tense. We're dealing with space worms and those fucking assholes from Six Skulls and then the fucking NHC. It's very tense around here. I need to be able to do my job, but I need Space Grease to do it. Seeing as how you were talking about Space Grease, I figured that I could offer a little bit of assistance in part of you helping me out. But then you immediately came at me hot.
Listen, I didn't come at you hot. We need supplies for, to take care of your problems. I've got to make sure we have those checked off first. I've got to talk to my crew before I can just give you things.
They
Talk
point.
to my crew. Now you can have it.
They point up to a shining dot that you can see up in the sky and goes, there are your supplies right there. You drop from there. You can drop more supplies from there. I have to wait. I appreciate you. Thank you. Anatoly will not forgive will not forget of your kindness. Turns.
Thanks, Anatoly. You know where we can get some food around here?
Anatoly stops and turns and looks at you and goes, I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out, Flyboy. And then turns back around and starts walking towards the group.
I'll just look at this group like, fuck did you get into when I was getting food?
Guy wants to take our supplies. I gotta make sure we have everything checked off before I can just hand things out. I have a list.
I'm gonna look over to Saturday like, what the fuck?
I think Cinder also jumps out of her mech at this point in time and is like, I think this is a little extreme for Space Grease. Also, he offered you 10 gallons in return.
The thing is, he needs it. I don't know when he's going to be getting supplies. We could be off this planet by the time he gets his 10 gallons.
It's Space Grease.
It's cold out. We needed to make sure our mech's joints stay flexible.
You plan on staying here for a while? I'm not.
As long as the job takes, I guess.
It's not like the cost of the Space Grease comes out of our pockets, and they've got plenty up there. Like, just what? Why?
I don't think Malcolm's gonna hold it against you if you wanted to give this dude some grease.
As you say Malcolm's name, you see across the way from the pavilion that you're in, you see that the drop ship lands, and then the hiss, and then the door in the back opens, and you see walking out, just wearing nothing but mechanics overalls, like tied around, and then a tank top, grabbing a parka, putting it on. You see Malcolm putting on a flappy ear, like head like hat and everything. Walks over. Jesus fucking Christ! Did you see the size of that fucking bugger? Jesus! I haven't seen something that large in a while. Whoa! Why you lot look all estranged, like you got into an argument or something?
Don't worry about it.
Post-mission wind down.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Oh, we punching each other for old punching sakes.
Hey, you want dibs?
Yeah. Just let me go and make sure I take inventory and get all this space grease unloaded.
Go for it.
Yeah.
On that note, Malcolm, can I ask you a favor?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Space Grease, right?
Okay, yeah, so, since Riker over here mentioned, hey, I need space grease, I went ahead and took the liberty upon myself to go ahead and grab extra tubs, cause, though being a little intense, Riker did say, oh, we need space grease, it's an ice planet, and last time I checked my calculations, that is quite correct. So I went ahead and I grabbed 6 50-gallon tubs, so we have plenty of space grease. You'd be surprised, we never go through space grease on any other operations on the Mirror Messiah.
You don't say.
Yeah.
You use
So
it
can
for
I ask a favor?
Using space grease for moisturizer, no, we've got lunch. Yeah, how can I help you, love?
If the bigwigs upstairs need me to, I can pay for this out of pocket once we're done on this planet. But can you just take one of those extra drums that you brought, and give them to the nice mechanic guys over there?
Bigwigs? No, yeah, of course. You're not going to have to pay out for shite out of pocket. It's space grease. You can go into a kitchen, any kind of galley, and pick up space grease. You're a funny lot, you know. Yeah, I'll go ahead and give them a tub. They look like a bunch of poor souls, anyways.
Yeah, they need it.
Thanks, Malcolm.
Of course, I'll go ahead and do inventory.
Stars.
And then Saturday's gonna turn and do that slow turn towards Riker and just be like, "You see, was that so hard?"
Hey, supplies aren't always so fruitful.
Yeah, ask everybody in this base here.
And with that, you are ready to make your way to the command pod?
Yep.
All right.
Pinto will lag behind.
Okay.
He's gonna be the mechanic and offer him the last beer.
Anatoly turns and looks at you. He goes, Can I help you?
He just holds out the 6-pack with one left.
Thank you.
And you know, if you mix the food processor wastage with used hydraulic fluid, you'll at a ratio of 13:5, you'll have a substance that will work at 85% efficiency as a replacement for space grease.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What's his name?
Pinto.
Pinto. Anatoly. It's a pleasure. Takes the beer,
How's that hand?
holds out a hand, shakes it like a big mittened hand. Shakes it. I'll be seeing you around, Pinto. Thank you. Goes back, doing some work, doing some inventory. You six make your way across the snow towards the command pod. As soon as you all step in, the doors slide open, and you're hit with a blast of heat. As you can see that the haters are working overtime. Immediately what you see is Captain Lily Doyle standing in front of this hollow table that seems to have a holographic outline of the surface around the outpost, and is just sitting and standing and staring at it while there are 3 different people arguing with each other in front of her around the table. Over to one side, you can see there are a series of different soldiers that are working through different schematics and readouts. And in one corner, you see a person sitting and with a pencil, like an actual pencil, and just like tapping their head. Looking at this like a series of charts and readouts on a table. Seems like they have a map set up as well, and they're penciling in, doing some cartography and noting some other things, looking at a readout on a hollow pad as well.
You say they're just like everybody else is just loudly arguing amongst themselves?
And you see Captain Lily Doyle, and then you see 3 people. You see a very loud, boisterous, large man that is wearing a business suit that is sitting and like arguing about productivity and everything. He's got his hair up in a top knot, shaved sides, and then you see a small woman, like about 5 foot nothing, that is standing on like an apple box and is like mimicking the same motions that the other man is making, and is wearing like a very like Spartan, very functional like winter clothing. And then you just see one guy with big glasses, very thick Coke bottle glasses, plastic rim glasses, just massaging his temples, and he's wearing a lab coat and a tie and a bunch of things, and his hair's unruly a little bit, but it's like tied in some places and has like beads and like seems like trinkets kind of braided into it as well, and it's just like massaging his forehead and just being like, stop.
gonna look at the rest of the crew for a bit. Let's go on for like another 30 seconds. I'm gonna pull my my light AC weapon off of my hip. It's a studded collapsible baton. Just snap it out and just start knocking it against like the closest metal object. Just like clank, 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 clank. Hey! Until everybody just shuts up.
Everybody turns and looks at you, and like they just stop and look at you.
Sweet Jesus! Let's recollapse the baton. I thought the shit out there was loud.
Oh, good. Captain Doyle goes, oh, good, finally you're here. Please gather around the table, please. I'd like to introduce you all. This is...
As we walk over to the table.
Yeah?
As we walk over to the table, Saturday's going to reach over and pull Saul's collar back into place. Zach. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, we should do that. Let's go.
Well, Lily goes, everyone, I'm sure you can make your introductions. I'd like to introduce you to our wonderful representatives that are here. This is Hiroyuki Tamaro of the Smith Shimano Corporation. You see the large man in the business suit turn, look to you, bow slightly. And then goes, this is Marconi Speed this is Kafka Yardimer of IPS North Star. Points to the gentleman wearing the lab coat. He goes, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Pleasure, each of you. And last but certainly not least, Commander Tony Pliskin, Harrison Armory. Pleasure to meet you, to make all of your acquaintance. They are our representatives from the wonderful companies here that are trying to decide who has exclusive rights to outfitting our little group. And like I was saying...
Shake all their hands.
Go around, and like he like shakes her hand, and then Hiroyuki goes, and like I was saying, Smith Shimano has a perfect outfitting to make sure that things stay warm on this ice cube of a planet. No, Commander Pliskin goes. No. You don't understand. Harrison Armory is built to outfit. We have exhausters, thrusting power. We work off of nuclear cores. That is what we're made to do. And then Kafka goes, would you please both stop? You're looking at business data, you're looking at money, and you're not looking at actual proper science like we do at IPS North Star. And they all three start kind of arguing again, and...
I just, in full view, I take the baton out and I just expand it out again.
Go ahead and give me a roll there for me. If you think you got a trigger that would work for that, please utilize that.
Well, I'm not going to call it charm.
Okay. I would say show off probably works here.
Sure, let's give it a show off. 16.
They all three immediately stop and look at you. And go. And Lily goes, thank you. Captain Doyle goes, thank you. Now, they are three representatives from different corporations that are trying to work over exclusivity rights. I'm saying that we can manage to work through all of them, but it's not something that we have to worry about right now. There are bigger issues at hand. I'm so glad that you are all here. I'm so glad that you're going to be helping us until we get back up. Now, she pulls up a holo file on the hologram table, pulls it up, expands it with her fingers, points at it and goes... And it's a star chart. It goes, currently, our resupply and backup are about 2 days out. They should arrive here in no time. We have a bit of a problem, though. It grabs another one, expands it, and you see it's a map of the surface. And about 50 kilometers due east, she goes, this is one of our communications outposts. We always keep our comms away from the main outpost just so that, there's no issues or anything. We have a backup relay in case. We keep it hidden. But it seems like something's taken it offline. So we're able to have surface-to-surface communications, but we're not able to get in contact with command. So they're not going to know where to drop with being 2 days out if we can't get in contact with them. Now, I would send some people out there, but we're kind of on a tight ship right now. And seeing as how the contract is to be helping us out until requisition comes back, I was wondering if you could help us out with that. But that's not the only thing. On top of that...
What's the catch?
Well, there's no catch with that, but there is another thing. We had a scout party go out recently to the mountains southwest of us, where you saw your friend from the battle start hurtling towards. We're thinking maybe that's where the bulk of the NHF's forces are. We sent out a couple of scout mechs. That's why we had some extra spots in our mech bay. They've never come back. We weren't able to get in contact with them at all, so we're wondering if maybe they were captured or something. On top of that, and then you hear from the person in the corner, on top of that, yes. They stand up. They walk over. And you see they are about 6'4", very tall, gangly, long curly hair that's been tied back into a bun, very warm clothing, fingerless gloves, and they've put the pencil into their hair. There's the question of our neighbors. What do you know of them?
Us? Just what we were told in the briefing, not much.
I'm not talking...
Those aren't the neighbors that she means.
I'm not talking about the New Humanity Front. No, God, no. I'm talking about the other neighbors, the ones from below.
The worms.
I mean, I managed to grab some samples of them if you have a way to analyze them down here.
You do? Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Happy to pass those off.
Thank you. That would help me tremendously. Pardon me. I should introduce myself. Dr. Marconi Speed. I'm the Chief Science Officer here.
That's great to meet you.
Likewise. I'm assuming you're the Oblivion Unit?
Name in progress.
Yes.
Excellent. Wonderful. We're very lucky to have you here. So, they didn't tell you about the worms. That's a work in progress, worms. It feels so juvenile to call them that.
We were told that this planet was barren.
You were told that this planet was barren.
You got it.
By whom? And they look over... Your commanding officer? Your commanding officer? And they look over at Captain Doyle. And Captain Doyle has like this tight-lipped look on her face. You idiot. You fool. You've doomed us all. You didn't tell them about the one thing that we've had trouble with for the past 3 months? And she goes, look, if I told them about giant worms that were eating things left and right, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have sent us. They wouldn't have agreed to the job.
No, we would have. We would just be better equipped to deal with it.
Or it might have costed more. I really don't know.
I would have had a whole different rig on my thing when I came down here, personally speaking.
We've been out here
Gotten a different...
for 3 months dealing with artillery fire and worms and the gods know what else, taking chips at our different outposts and our defenses, and you told them that it was just those fucking far-right supremacists that are attacking us? They're piecemeal compared to what's underneath the surface. Piecemeal! And then looks over at ICEBOX and the rest of you. Piecemeal! And like turns and then walks back over to the table. Sits down.
Yeah.
Like
So-
them.
Anyway, do we know if these creatures have any known weaknesses? Is there anything they don't like? How have you been keeping them away?
They don't like getting shot. We figured that one out.
Captain Doyle
There is
snaps
that.
and points and goes, "That is indeed what it is. They don't like being shot. That's the only thing that we've noticed. It doesn't seem that flames bother them. We've tried to use certain types of flamethrowers on them, and it seems that they're actually kind of welcomed to it. We're wondering if it's something in their biochemistry." I'm wondering if it's something in their biochemistry. You have no idea what kind of science goes into the studying of the biology of an organism that pristine, that exquisite, that unique. It seems that they are not harmed by flames, but lead does seem to do the trick. But we are running low on supplies. That's why we're kind of glad that you and your mechanics were here. Quite.
I lean over to Pinto and I say, "Hey, yo, you want to fuck that worm?"
Doyle goes, "Oh my goodness. You all are all professionals, right?"
Most of us.
Definitely professionals. Everyone here is expertly trained to deal with your problem.
Look, we've set you in pod B. It's a couple pods down on the left. That's where you'll be keeping your things. That's where you'll be staying and shacking up and bunking for the next couple nights. You know where you're keeping your mechs at, in their bays over there. I recommend you take some time, get used to the area around here. I'll leave what missions we have up on the board. You can talk it over, but just know you don't have to help, but to get paid, you've kind of got to help us a little bit. I understand if you want to get in contact with your command and go back on the deal, but I do want to remind you that there were contracts signed, and that if you were to renege on the deal, then you would be paying back a very handsome sum to us for a breach of contract. And she taps the hologram table.
You're making a lot of assumptions right off the bat when we came here and did the job that we were asked to do right off the bat.
As far as I know, there are 6 skulls, and you only met 2. So the job isn't technically done.
I know. Because 2 out of 6, not really going to do it for me. Like I said, you're making
You
a lot
don't
of
have to
assumptions off the
worry.
bat.
Yeah.
What?
We're not gonna leave a job not even half done.
And you see she, like, visibly just, like, relaxes. She goes, "Okay, good, thank you. I was worried that with the giant worms and everything, you were all gonna pack up and leave."
Yeah, you were holding it together about as well as your back was.
Thank you.
Stall, there's no need to be rude.
Yeah, you don't gotta be mean. They're doing the best they can.
Was he being rude? I thought my mech was holding it pretty together out there.
Hey, didn't fall to pieces, so there you go.
Right.
I think you could use some space grease.
If we could just get any documentation you have on those worms and then a list of those missions, we'll get set up for the night and find out what's going on.
You want documentation? I'll give you fucking documentation. You see from Marconi over in the corner. And Marconi holds up a single sheet of paper and goes, "This is everything that the NSF or the NSC has collected on these fucking worms. This is it."
I'm gonna just yank the piece of paper out of their hand and say, "Thanks. Maybe ICEBOX can help you get a little bit more."
I would appreciate that. That's actually something I wanted to offer to you. I have some, let's call them seismic depth charges that are collected in the back of my pod. I would like to use those potentially to go out to some of the places where we've seen the worms collect, maybe drop them, and with those I can get a sense of what kind of tunnel activity we have beneath the surface. I could perhaps make a call to somebody that I know that's... And they get quiet and look over the other three. Not those fools.
As soon as they say that, Saturday's going to lean forward and be like, I'm listening.
Let's just say I have a friend that I went to university with that is a representative for Horus. Now, they weren't very intrigued with this planet before, but if I was to mention that potentially there was some unidentified, never-before-seen life forms on this planet, they'd be very interested in sending someone out here.
Okay.
Also to
I
note,
think we can do that.
our
That
General
seems like
Math...
a fair trade to me, at least.
Seems like a very fair trade. Also to note that General Massive Systems, our representative, has gone missing.
Missing?
Kind of burying a lot of leads here, Doyle.
Well, yeah, that was a new development this morning. She just kind of wandered off. We don't know if she wandered off, but she was here last night, getting rip-roaring drunk, and when we woke this morning for a meeting to get ready for your arrival, she didn't show up. We went to her room, and she wasn't there. And we haven't seen her in the Outpost at all.
Something I've seen before in my last job. Sometimes soldiers would get a little too drunk and then wander into hostile environments. Is it possible something like that could have happened?
Oh dear, I hope she didn't. She took like the highest tech mech that we have around here.
Don't you have, like... Don't you have perimeter guards? Or cameras? Did anyone see her leave?
You see Kafka Yardimer go, perimeter guards! Cameras! You're suggesting that these people are fully outfitted for war! Perimeter guards! They have to have guards to guard the perimeter guards to make sure that the perimeter guards don't go wandering off into the snow! It's a total shit show here!
Not
Okay,
even
so
a
that's-
tracking device?
Okay, so that's 2 out of 3
Yeah.
people who just shot their shit for getting a sponsorship here. And I'll point to Pliskin and go, you, however, let's talk when this is done.
Commander Pliskin lights up and she goes, I would be more than happy to speak with you. Doyle looks at you, Drift, and goes, did you just say tracking beacons?
Yeah.
I will have you know that our coalition does not believe in being policed or tracked by any entity whatsoever, whether they be an establishing government or a private company. I will let you know that right now, okay? People are allowed to their privacy and their security, and we will not put trackers on them.
All right, so now we got to go find them, right?
Look, if you want access to their stuff, to their gear, I noticed that a lot of you are using Everests out there. If you want to continue using theirs or any other thing, their access codes, they have them. There's no way, it's their digital thumbprint. We can't get an access to their 3D printer unless you find them.
Well, we'll just have to look then, I guess.
I will have you know before you go wandering off. The reason we picked this spot for our outpost, our main headquarters, is that it was already fortified when we arrived here. The walls that you see that we built around and put the dome up around, they were here before. Those craggy outpeaks, those fingers, the fingers of Dailor's fingers, they were here as well. There's some ruins that we came across in the snow, so we don't know if it was from somebody a long time ago before all of this. But just don't go wandering off alone, or you could get lost like she did.
Affirmative.
Enough said.
So, it's a big planet.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any idea where to start? Anything interesting? Any landmarks to look out for?
Well, other than here, you've got the communications outpost. You've got the mountains to the southwest. To the northeast, we discovered a giant cave, but we haven't sent anyone in there yet. When we tried to get close to it and send a vehicle inside, just the sound of the engine started shattering some of the icicles and the stalactites that were in the mouth of it. It seems that it's some kind of crystal cavern of sorts. And if you don't know, a crystal cavern is mighty fragile. You get in too far into it, make too much noise, and, well, then you have tons of glass and crystal shattering all around you, and you could potentially die. So far, that's all we have.
Well, I think our first step is definitely to find the missing representative, because, I mean, we do need to do maintenance on our mechs, so that seems like a logical first place to start to me.
That sounds excellent. I would like to be able to have a proper, let's say, working relationship with GMS at the end of all of this. And if there's anything that we can do to help accommodate you all. What is that?
I would assume that being a representative of GMS, they were probably piloting an Everest, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and do you know roughly what time the representative was last seen in the camp?
There's a one of the guards that is around that perimeter, that's around that area, looking after it, named Jensen. I say that's a private Jensen. Was around that area. You can go and speak with him. He has most of the details. He kind of took over the investigation, so to speak.
Right.
He took a lot of it personally, seeing as it was his responsibility to make sure everyone was safe in that area.
All right.
Is there anything else we can get you? Take care of for you?
I think we were looking for some food before we got started.
We have a mess hall. It's a few pods down on the right, past the bay. You can't miss it. There'll be people probably interacting and talking within there. Some of this, I'll tell you, for the most part, while we have gone short on space grease, and a lot of the mechanics have not a lot of their equipment that they need, and we're running low on ammunition. We have not run low on food or drink, so we have plenty of that. Say what you want about the NSC, but we know how to take care of our own, even if we don't know how to outfit our own.
It's good to hear.
Fair enough.
We can hatch a plan on where to start the search while we grab some grub.
Perfect.
All right. And Saturdays, I'll look around to everyone else and be like, are we ready to head out then?
Might as well.
I'll catch up with you guys at the mess hall, and I'll cut away from the group and walk towards Pliskin.
Perfect.
And I think ICEBOX would be like, I'll be there in a sec too, and would go talk to Dr. Speed.
Okay, perfect. So, just kind of give a breakdown of kind of how Lancer goes and everything like that. We've kind of done a debrief, wrapped up the last mission. We've gone to this next one. We've already taken care of license level and everything before the stream, so we've got that all taken care of. So we're in our downtime section here. Before we go into anything like that, so you want to talk to Pliskin, Stall, ICEBOX, or Cinder. You want to talk with Dr. Speed. Is there anybody else that the rest of you four want to talk to before we start figuring out what y'all want to do for downtime?
No.
Saturday also wants to get a chance to talk to Dr. Speed.
Perfect. So we can have Cinder and Saturday talk to Dr. Speed. Perfect. What about you, Riker?
So all I want to do is just, Riker's just going to be very focused on his next mission, get really quiet and intense. So he's just going to start trying to find the best, do any work he can to try to narrow down where this person may be. Like maybe investigate, maybe go to their room, try to figure out what they're about, what sort of person they are, and stuff like that.
Perfect. All right. Excellent. What about Pinto?
He's gonna go check out the mechanics and see what gear they're most critically in need of.
Perfect. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and start with Stall here. Go in the round. Stall. You look over towards Commander Pliskin. She steps off of her Apple box and looks over at the other two representatives who are eyeing the two of you greedily. And she walks up to you, and she comes up to about, like, your chest, your mid-torso. And she goes, I think we should talk somewhere a little bit more private. She's like, follow me. And she zips up her winter clothes and walks outside, walks with you. How are you liking Karelia?
I'll just give a to the other two as I walk out behind her. Well, it's cold as hell, but so far so good.
And what could I call you? You look familiar.
Yeah, Stall Imperium.
That's who you are. I saw that holo vid of you taking on 4 other mechs at once. You almost got your ass kicked.
Was it only 4?
4.
It was only 4 then.
5. I think one of them was a twin mech. 2 pilots, 1 mech. Technically 5.
Not for long.
Perfect. Well,
good.
I am more than happy to have a working relationship with you, Mr. Empyrean. The more the merrier. As you know, Harrison Armory is top of the line when it comes to outfitting with frames, licenses, and different systems, whether it's in combat or out of combat. We're a company that's founded by military, made for military, and it's going to continue to be military from however it goes on. So the name of the game comes down to we're able to blow shit up fast, hard, and quick.
Those are all words that I like to hear.
Perfect. That makes me happy to hear.
I was particularly interested in, you were talking about working with nuclear core and whatnot. Seems right up my alley. Plus, Harrison was a name floated around the Onyx program a lot way back in the day, so call it fortuitous.
That's where I recognize you from, not the whole celebrity and everything like that. The Onyx program.
Those are old days at this point.
Old days? But I saw you working on the feed. Out there. Going toe-to-toe with one of those skulls. You've still got it in you.
That's why I'm doing the job.
Good.
Not built for much else.
Good. Well, yes, you got it right. Nuclear reactors, we work with core systems that are able to deal with heat management, and we have the top-of-the-line high-tech energy weapons available to us. We have quite the line afforded to you. You stop in front of a bay. It looks like a garage bay. And you can see in the back of it there is a cot and like a personal trunk. But for the most of it, there are 7 different like kind of pylons. They seem like pylon bases along like rows, and you see there's a giant 3D printer in the middle of this thing, and you see banners that are hanging that say Harrison Armory, and it has like different photos that are going on different TV screens and different videos of their mechs in the works. And as she steps in, she claps, and you see each of the pylon bases light up, and you see a rotating holographic imagery of all the different Harrison Armory mechs afforded to you. And she goes, we have an exquisite line of multiple different facets, different types, depending on how you want to utilize your efforts. We have the Barbarossa, and she points to a massive mech that has a gun on its back, built for artillery, hitting it hard from a distance. The Genghis, and she points to one that has this, like, it looks like it has 3 arms on it. It's holding like a sword, has a gun in another hand, and there's different flame ports coming out of it. And she goes, the Iskander. And you see one that like has like rocks floating around it. The Napoleon. And you see one that like starts going invisible, coming back. The Saladin. The one that has like energy shields coming out, blocking energy fire, things like that. The Sherman, which is a combination of, it's one that I'm quite favored of. We decided what would happen if you took a Barbarossa and a Genghis and combined it together. And then finally the Takagawa. And you see one that just seems like it seems like it's built out of swords. It's very sleek, skinny, and you see it like bouncing in between, cutting down different enemies. Any of these could potentially be the next HELLBEAST Premium.
I'm gonna kind of drift back towards the Genghis and go, tell me about this one.
The Harrison Armory Genghis. Excellent choice. Now, what you see here is a frame that was marked from the dawn of the mech age. This is one of our oldest. This is one of the first ones that we developed, but just because it's old doesn't mean that it's been left behind. It's just tested, hardened. We've been redefining it, working with a prototype. From its roots, where we took General Massive Systems' Everest system and decided to add on top of it, make it better. Because that's what we do at Harrison Armory. We take something that's old and outdated, and we make it better. We make it harder to kill and easier to kill others. Now, this has some things that you're able to utilize, like a exposure of power cells, potentially. Different vents on it that you're able to get rid of your exhaust, but you're able to weaponize that a bit. Different charges for you to use, as well as my personal favorite, the Krakatoa thermobaric flamethrower. And you see there's a video that pops up, and there's it's like this massive suit, and it's just like this flamethrower that's fighting off a bunch of different like tiny little space spiders off of it. As well, if you ever find yourself utilizing a lot of heat, especially on a ice planet, you'll see that it has top-of-the-line heat management, with including an auto cooler.
I think this is probably a good place to start. I'm interested in these. The flamethrower is nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty fond of the pulse rifle, but those vents right there, that seems right up my alley.
Perfect. Well, we just have a series of contracts that we need you to sign. You know, of course, someone of your celebrity understand. We just need to go over. We'll have your manager talk to our people, and then we can get you on one of these very, very quickly.
I think so. course, if we're going to be hanging out on this planet for a while, I certainly wouldn't mind testing out what you have to offer to start before we go into something a bit more official.
A test drive of sorts.
Think about it. Harrison Armory merchandise, live for all the world to see. All the worlds to see.
Your platform does have quite a bit of views, subscriptions on it as well. I'm seeing action figures, streetwear, maybe your own power and energy supplement for workouts.
Could be. Could even see HELLBEAST branding on upcoming parts. Get other pilots that want to emulate what we're doing here.
Mr. Empyrean, I believe for the first time that I've stepped on this toilet of a planet, I'm happy to be here. And she extends her hand forward.
I will take the hand. I am more than happy to make you happy to be here.
Excellent. Let's move over to Saturday and Cinder. As you walk over to Dr. Marconi Speed's table, as they're like sitting. They've gone from like looking at that single sheet of paper that was handed over to Riker, that just says, and Riker, when you looked at that single sheet of paper, it just said worms. And it had a drawing of a worm. And then it said like, it's like, do they burrow? Do they eat the dirt? Do they move it out of the way? Like, it's like things that are scratched off, they're scribbled. And you see that they've gone from like writing on that to they are now taking other papers. They're taking a pair of scissors and they are making little like snow angels with the papers, like cutting it out. Snowflakes, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just gonna take the piece of paper and go,
Adorable.
this makes no Zorbic sense. Wad it up, throw it at me.
Of course it doesn't make sense to you. You're not a doctor from one of the top universities in the whole galaxy.
What are you a doctor of, Dr. Speed?
I have a PhD in microbiology, extraplanetary biology, terrabiology. I have my PhD in not only physics, chemistry, and geology, but also geography. And on the side, I also have my PhD in performance arts and theater.
On the side, nice. Very well-rounded individual, I gotta say, I'm impressed.
I would say so. And what do you have your PhD in?
I'm just gonna walk away.
That's what I thought. You two.
Saturday's going to interject and look over at them and say, actually, I do have a PhD.
You do.
I
You.
do.
You have a PhD. You have samples. You two can talk to me.
I.
She points over to Corolla, over to you, Drift. Do you have your PhD?
Nah. But I do have championships.
You two, talk to me. Goes back to her table. Goes like,
And then I just wander off.
Yeah, I'm gonna flag down Drift and be like, come on, Drift, you can help me find some clues on this missing person.
I kind of want to get a lay of the land.
That's cool. Don't let me stop you.
Cool.
They sit down at the table and they go, please, do you have those samples on you?
I mean, they're not on me. They're still in my mech. I was just gonna ask you where you want me to drop them off at. Or if you want to come with me and come get them, whatever.
Yes, anything to be out of this insufferable room. I understand. This room, it reeks. It smells of tobacco and disappointment. And they look over at Captain Doyle and then pull out like a CBD pen and just. let's go to my room. And just like stands up, grabs their coat, puts it on, and like wraps a scarf around them, and then puts on a beanie and just stomps out and goes, "You two," looking at Kafka and Hiroyuki, and then they both go, "Whatever," and then they look over at Captain Doyle, and then Captain Doyle goes, "What, Dr. Speed? Numbnuts?" And like do like this, and then turn and walk out. And I'm assuming you two follow.
Yep.
Which this just leaves, I want a little bit, just like, this leaves Pinto kind of like in the room by himself, just like looking around. And I'm assuming you just immediately walk out.
Yeah, kind of just backs out, just awkwardly backs out of the room.
Just like awkwardly backs out of the room. You two crunch across the snow following Dr. Speed, who is like stomping, crunching, stops, looks at this one icy patch, and you see that like the snow is melting in all of these places except for this one patch on the ground. That just seems to be like an ice patch, and when a snowflake hits it, it doesn't melt or anything. It just kind of slides off. And they sit and they tap it with their boot a couple times, and they go, And then they keep walking towards one of the pods. And it's pod E. It's on the left-hand side. And you see there's a sign in front of it that says, Dr. Marconi Speed's office. No entrance to no one absolutely ever. And they go ahead and they look at you and they're like, "You two cool?"
Yeah.
Cool enough.
Okay. And they open it up and let you in. Wait. Grab your samples first. Wait.
Okay, I can go grab those samples first.
Can I come with you? Can we go over there? Can we look at them?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And
you can come with me. We just have to go back to the bay.
perfect. And then like they run across it's like right across to the mech bay. And then like they stand and they go, "Oh wow," looking at all of the different mechs. And then takes
That's so cute. What the fuck?
takes their hand and like moves it and rubs it across Drift's neck. He goes, "Sleek. It's like a racer."
Yep.
Is he an F-Infinity
That's
racer?
what he does.
He was a racer.
Interesting.
As far as I know, yeah.
I've never been one for watching the races, but there was a series of movies based off of them that I was quite the fan of. They were quite action heavy for me, but they got their point across. A lot about family. I enjoyed that. It was heartwarming. I've never seen any of these up close before, though.
Okay. Cool. This is what I've done with my whole life. Let me go grab those samples, and she's gonna, climb up into her mech and grab the samples and then come back down.
She goes, "This one's yours?" And she looks at it and she goes, "Munster. Like the cheese?"
Yeah. Like the cheese, yeah.
Excellent.
That's the joke. Because I'm ICEBOX, yeah. That's the joke. So it's Munster cheese.
I like that. I like that a lot. Which one's yours?
Cool.
Saturday's going to touch the data plating on their collar and say, "Astucious, can you open the cockpit, please?"
Of course, Saturday. Cockpit opening.
And you see over at Arcade, the cockpit opens. Interesting. Is that an HP?
Saturday's going to look over at them and kind of give a sly grin and say, "It might be."
Intriguing. Intriguing indeed. There'll be time for this later.
Some of us don't settle for companion concierge units.
I agree. Too messy. There'll be time for this later. Quick, samples. Let's go. and they turn on their heels and they start
Gosh.
and they start running across back towards their pod, and then they stop at that ice patch again, and then they tap it a couple times with their boot, and then they go back to their pod, and they stop once you catch up, and they stop at the door and they look at you and they go, "I want to ask you again. I know that you're cool, but are you cool?"
Yes, we're cool.
Sure.
They open the door and you walk into their office, and you're hit with an aroma immediately as you walk into this area, and it's a very clean and a very sterile environment. But you do see that there are a series of posters from a movie series that's based on F Infinity Racing. That's just called Infinity on it, and you see that there's a series of 8 films in this, and they have all the posters hanging out of it. There's also a cabinet that's beside a table and a desk that has a computer on it and has a hollow port on it so that they're able to take data from the computer and bring it up on the hollow port. And there's this cabinet that has lights set up in it. And in each of the cabinet, there are not only just models of F Infinity cars, but also different Lancers that are like different mechs that are from the area of HELLBEAST's expertise, like celebrity mech pilots, and you see that they essentially have Gunpla, and you see in the very back they have a grow op set up. They have a series of lights set up with tables with different plants that seem to be different strains of marijuana. And then you see that there is a desk over as well where there is a centrifuge, and there seems to be a lot of different chemicals and liquids set up as well. And they go, "Finally, my Babylon. We should be safe here."
The "you guys cool" comment makes so much more sense.
Cool. And yeah, here's those samples, and I think, Cinder just hands over what she grabbed from, with her mech.
Perfect. Thank you. And she goes over to the desk and she brings out and she plugs into the computer into the hollow port. And then she hits a series of buttons on the hollow port. And then she sets one of the samples down on the hollow port, and it starts floating a little bit, and it starts analyzing and looking at it and goes, "Huh. Intriguing. Though it's at sub-zero temperatures, it hasn't started to freeze yet. Interesting. It seems like it's breathable, but yet hard to penetrate. Warm, even. Tell me, is that HELLBEAST your friend?"
Friend might be a strong word.
He's a coworker, right? Acquaintance?
Coworker? Acquaintance? How do you think he deals with autographed memorabilia?
I mean, he
I
loves
think
attention.
he would be. Yeah, I think he'd be delighted to sign anything that you've got.
Perfect. Can you do me a favor?
Sure.
And they go over to the cabinet and they pull out a key ring. And it's weird because usually you see key cards or thumbprints or something like this. This is like an analog key, like an actual key. Goes, opens it up reverely, and then brings out, you see a little bit towards the back that's on like a stand, brings out a little gunpla of HELLBEAST mech and goes, "Do you think you could get him to sign this?"
I don't see why not.
Excellent.
And Cinder, I guess we'll take. Do you want me to take it with me?
You like grab it, you start putting it in your bag. You start putting it in your bag, and then you go, and then they go, no, not in that. I have a carrying case. Oh my God, you're not just gonna put that thing in your bag, are you? You might break one of the parts off of it. Goodness gracious. And they go over and they grab it looks like like a gun case or something, like the heavy duty plastic case, and then pops it open and it has foam in it, and there's a little foam insert for it, and pulls it and closes it and hands it over and goes, Oh, I could never in my dreams talk to Stall Imperium face to face in person. You can't disappoint, a Gunpla.
Makes sense.
Well, I'm glad you could bring the samples. Is there anything that you wanted to ask me?
Yeah, if you have the time, I do have a couple questions for you.
Of course.
What about you, ICEBOX?
Not in particular. I was just delivering samples.
well,
I'm not a PhD, so.
Well, you don't have to be a PhD. You're obviously cool. You're doing a favor for me, so I'll make sure that you're privy to certain information. How about that?
Cool. I always like that.
Excellent.
Well, if you don't have anything else for Dr. Speed, do you want to go figure out where Stall got off to?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because I'll go get this taken care of so that way I don't have it for too long. That sounds great.
Efficiency.
Check the boardroom again, or wherever Harrison went.
Harrison Armory, they have a bay that's a little bit further. You can't miss it. They have their shit just lined up all over the place.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll go check from there so that I can bring this back quickly. And she'll
Excellent.
scoot out of the room.
Excellent. Let's go ahead. Saturday. They sit down at their chair. They're kind of analyzing the sample a little bit, running through some data. Like, what were those questions that you had for me?
Well, first one, we'll start on topic. Do you mind if I plug my subjectivity suite into that and just transmit the data on the worm back to Astucius?
Is Astucius cool?
Astucius is very cool.
All right, fine. Go for it. And you go
Awesome.
ahead.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead and go ahead and you just plug in your suite directly.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And Saturday will just be polite for now and only transmit back the data about the worm and not go fishing around to see what other goodies might be in there. And when they're done, they'll just unplug and sit down and say, "So, about Horus."
Yes. What did you want to know?
You said that you know a representative of Horus.
I went to university with someone that works for them, a rep. They've been shopping around looking for new deals to make with different mech pilots, and I think that your outfit would be perfect for them. But to have them come here, I have to have something substantial. I have to have irrefutable proof that this is a wholly original and unique subject. You dig?
I dig.
Good.
So,
I was thinking that you and your little cadre of misfits can take some of those and you see them point past the marijuana plants and you see there's about 4 drums that have wires coming out of them that are attached to an electronic device. Take some of my seismic depth field. I call them charges because they kind of work like depth charges, but they're more of like transmitters. And take them and drop them off in some tunnels that I've designated on a map here on this module, and you see them grab a chip and set it on the table. Let's just say you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours.
Saturday will reach over, take the chip, look down at it and smile and nod. I think we have ourselves an arrangement.
I think we have ourselves arrangement indeed. we move over to Pinto.
And then
Pinto. You walk over to the mechanics bay.
First things first. Pinto would know best thing to do is to secure the best bed in our bunk while everybody else is doing things.
Everybody's off on their... Yeah. You go ahead to Pod B, and it's been set up. There's a sanitation area where it's just like, it's got a standard issue bathroom. There's a 4-stall shower, all that good stuff. There's a kitchenette area. It's fully stocked with different... They don't have brands on them, but they have things like chips, jerky, snacks, proteins, things like that. And then when you open up the fridge, you see it says canned water, canned coffee, beer. And it's just like gray cans that have like beer, coffee, like things of that nature on it. And you go and you see that there's 3 beds.
Just like Mom used to make.
Just like Mom used to make. And there's 3 like beds on either side, and then they have 3 on top of those. You have bunk beds in here. There's no individual rooms. They just have a pod, and there's beds.
Yeah, he's gonna take one of the bottom bunks.
One of the bottom bunks. Nice, quiet, probably in the back corner, I imagine. Go ahead and set your bag there. Everything gets set up. There's a double-tiered nightstand. So there's a nightstand, and it's like a bunk nightstand. So there's a nightstand for each bed set up alongside it, and they all have like charge ports and everything. And as you get in the bottom bunk, you realize that there's like a TV screen that just has the NSC logo on it.
I'm gonna break the one of the person above me, or at least the volume on it.
You're gonna break the volume on it? Okay, you climb up to it and you go ahead and like you see the it's like a button kind of thing, and you just jam it in. So like the volume just is jammed in. And you just go climb down.
I'll get some good sleep after that.
Perfect. All right.
Now off to the mechanic.
Now off to the mechanic. All right, perfect. You make your way to the mechanic bay, the mech bay. You kind of like cross paths with Saturday and Cinder and the other one, and you go up and you see Anatoly talking to 3 other mechanics around, and they're just kind of going through a routine inventory list. Anatoly turns and looks at you. Oh, good. It's a Pinto. It's a pleasure to be seeing you again. We managed to talk with your friend Malcolm. Very, very insightful fellow. Very excitable fellow. Indeed. How can we help you?
Well, it's how can I help you guys out? I heard that you're low on a lot of key stuff. So if there's anything we could do, share parts, share equipment.
Look, we need, on top of the space grease, our wiring's getting kind of ruined. It's hard to maintain in the snow. We're running low on tape. A lot of our nuclear cores, we need to, we're using mattress pads as insulation because our insulation has run out because it has been stolen from us. We had to upgrade our security because there were NHF fucks coming in and stealing our insulation for our nuclear cores. Ammunition, it's just quite a bit of it. Malcolm says that he can help a little bit, but I don't know.
So this is just me as the player. Oh my god, we're gonna die here. Oh god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is way worse than I was expecting. Okay, so... Alright, what do you know about this comm relay, then, that you guys need to make sure the supplies come in?
Well, it's about 50 clicks away. They have a fully established... It's a crew of 4 people out there. We rotate it, but we haven't been able to get in contact with them, and so since we can't get in contact with them, they typically set up shop in different areas around there. It's more of a mobile unit. So they stay about 50 clicks away, but they move around just so that they can't, be spotted by the enemy. It is what you could say armored transport carrier that's been upgraded and retrofitted into a communications hub. It has standard issue relay devices, comm units. It has built-in shower, toilet. Even has a toaster oven. Oh, also a 50 millimeter cannon on the back.
Is this just an RV?
Or I would not say it's just an RV.
RV.
Yeah, it's seriously just an armored RV. That's all it is.
I can steal it. All right, I'll do my best to convince these guys that we should make that a priority, but I don't know.
Of course, yes. In anything that we can do to help you, what we lack in supplies, we have in knowledge and willingness to help. Except for that other fuck. What's his name?
What, Oz? Not Oz.
Oz? Wrath. Fucking Wrath. That's his name.
Riker.
Yeah.
Ugh. It looks like it. He wears a turtle. Oh, it is kind of cold, so a turtleneck makes sense. Ugh, whatever. Just has an attitude problem. But yeah, we're more than happy to help you out. We'll scratch your back if you scratch ours. Of course. I appreciate you.
Likewise.
Excellent. If you come with me, I can show you what we have. And they go ahead and walk you over towards what they have in their station. Before we go to our break, let's cut to Drift and Riker. So Drift, you were going to go get a lay of the land. You were, yeah. Okay. So you walk out with Riker, and as Riker starts going towards the GMS operative, the reps pod, you just immediately go the other way. What are you going ahead and looking at? Are you just going to go ahead and just start looking at all the different pods and everything?
Yeah, I'm just wandering around looking for people.
Mm-hmm. There are
making my way.
There are some people that notice you immediately. Like as you go, there are some people that notice you immediately. They go up and just want to pat you on the back and shake your hands. They're like, oh, this race about 2 years ago. I remember I wasn't there, but my sister was there. She had just gotten married, and they were they were honeymooning there, and it was a Grand Prix, and so they just kind of got lucky and they got tickets, and I was so jealous. And it's just this bundled up. You can't even tell who it is. They have goggles and a helmet and a face mask and everything like that. They're it looks like a good time, man. I wish I could do what you do, but it's military duty,
Yeah. I got lucky. I was blessed with the skill.
Blessed, definitely. Yeah, no, definitely. I can tell, definitely. You've definitely got it going on. Do you think maybe you can take me in a ride in that thing at one point?
Maybe. We'll have to clear it up with some people.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Get something happening, though.
Totally, yeah, I'll figure out when my shift ends or something like that. We can make it work. But hey, I've got to get back to it. But thank you so much. And you make your way to the...
Keep going.
Of course. You as well. Samurai the 6th shift, isn't that right? And then they turn and they walk off. You make your way to the mess hall. When the sliding doors open, you're hit with noise. It seems like there's more people in this mess hall than there are doing perimeter duty. But it does it seems fully stocked. They have a full lunch room set up, cafeteria set up and everything. You do notice that on one side, closer to the where everybody gets their food and just their drinks and everything like that, there is a table that says reserved.
All right. So I walk over to the reserve table to see if it's for us.
As soon as you walk up, you see Oblivion Unit-01.
All right. So I sit down and I put my feet up on the table, lean back.
As soon as you lean back, somebody comes over. You see this portly woman comes over, and she goes, "Can I help you? This table's reserved."
Yeah. I'm Drift with the Oblivion Unit.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, all right, yeah. I've been having to tell people to get off this table all day. Glad you people are finally here. What can I get you, sweetie?
Let's go with whiskey.
Of course. Any grub?
Any sandwich. Surprise me.
Perfect. Coming right up. She turns and she goes off to make your dinner. Riker, you make your way over to the pod where the GMS rep is. You see that the sign next to it, it says GMS representative Jenna Lockhart. Private.
I'm gonna, even though I know she's missing, Riker's gonna knock, because it's just the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, nothing.
So he's gonna just
Nothing.
open the door.
You go ahead and press the door. The door slides open. You step in. Heater's still running. Can I go ahead and get from you just from, because I just want to see what you kind of notice on the offset. Can you go ahead and give me a roll here? Utilizing your grit bonus.
Word. Okay, yeah. I have a word on the street, but
I know that
maybe that can help in this situation.
it's typically gossip, news, or hearsay, but yeah, that's like more for like more. Yeah.
Okay, so I got a 12 with my grit.
As you walk in, the first thing you notice immediately is that there are muddy footprints. Which is strange, because this is an ice planet. But you see muddy boot prints walking in from where you are, walking over to the bed, and then walking back. There seems to be... The bathroom door is closed. The desk is messy. And when you kind of look over towards the bed, it seems like there's some kind of mud or muck all in it. Like somebody was muddy or mucky and crawled all in it.
What the hell? Mud on an ice planet? It'd have to be warm somewhere. Is there anything that Riker notices on the desk that would like indicate where this person may go?
You look over...
Before I start following these footprints?
You look over the desk and you see that there are muddy handprints on it. And you see that there are papers that have muddy handprints on it. And there's like a journal. And there's like scrawling in it. And it's in a language that you can't make out. It looks like nonsense. It looks like scribbles on it.
Riker is going to be saying this out loud because he talks to himself. He'll take it and sort of flip through it and say, maybe Dr. Speed could use this. Put it in his jacket.
On his jacket. You also...
Pick up some of the mud, and can I like get a sample of that somehow? I don't have any like beakers or anything in my inventory.
Yeah, you look over and you see that there's this little container. There's just like a little container, and you scoop some of the mud into it and stop it. So you put the stopper on the container on it. When you do, you notice something that's kind of hidden behind a picture frame, where you see there's this blonde woman with her hair in a ponytail, and she's on this like kind of like island vista, like kind of interlocked, arm in arm with a gentleman. They're both smiling. They seem happy. But you notice that there's this statuette that has that same kind of mud on it, and it seems to be a stone carving of like a person with a beard that flows down, a long flowing beard, and then like a hat that looks almost like a Pope's hat, what Oz would know as a Pope's hat, and then a flowing robes, and then on the torso part of it, there's like this kind of like crystalline mirrored substance in the middle of it, and you see that like from the back and the front, it seems to go through it.
Weird. Never seen anything like that before. I'm gonna pick up the picture frame and he'll say, wish I had someone like that. Kind of take the back off, see if there's any message written on the back.
It just says about 5 years ago. It's dated 5 years ago. And it goes, Jenna and Aaron, honeymoon. And it gives the planet and everything that they were on. Resort planet.
The just heavy, wistful sigh, and put the back of the frame back on, set it right where it goes.
When you put that back...
One day.
When you say one day, Riker, one day, you hear like some kind of like whistling coming from the bathroom. It's like wind whistling.
I'm gonna take the statue up and kind of pocket that.
Mm-hmm. Put it in your other
Give it
pocket.
to Dr. Speed. Yeah. And then I'll say, hello? Someone there?
No reply, no answer.
I'll see if I can follow these muddy footprints for a bit.
You walk over. Do you go to the bathroom? You follow the footprints to the bathroom? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they go to the bed and then they veer off and go to the bathroom and then they veer back out the door. When you go to the door, you open the bathroom door and the whistling gets louder. And you see in the shower part, where there's tubes and everything like that, the floor has been busted up, it seems. And there's like a crowbar and like a pick. And the floor has been broken through, and it's hot in this room. It's muggy in this room. And you see that there are about 3 to 5 heaters over the shower. So there's intense heat pouring over the shower. And you see that there's like been broken through the ice, where it's melted and broken through. And it seems that a tunnel has been dug through the ice all the way into this mud. It seems somebody has been working on this religiously to break through the ice to get to like earth. And they're keeping it as hot as possible in this room to keep it melted.
Just gonna pull my turtleneck a bit. What the fuck?
And that will be a good place.
Must have gone down there.
She must have gone down there. And that will be a good place for us to take a break. And it's going to be a very quick break. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and we will be right back. Thank you all. Boom, boom, boom. And we are back, everyone. Hope you managed to get a bio break in, grab some snacks, grab a drink, grab your Valentine, doing whatever you're doing here. Thank you for sticking with us. So, let's pick up with Cinder. You're making your way across the ice with your package. And you look over and you see the Harrison Armory, like, bay, like garage bay. The doors are closed on it. But you can see it emblazoned. They have, like, banners out front and everything like that. You make your way over?
Yeah, I think she would make her way over. And then if she goes up and the doors are closed, she would probably tap on them and be like, Stall, Commander Pliskin, did you guys leave already?
There's a tap. And you hear some movement behind the doors. Nothing, but it seems odd. And you hear music? Is that music? It sounds like loud music. Like if you could think in terms of like in our era, like something kind of like Deftones or something like that. That kind of feel.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I think if she knocks and then doesn't really get a response, she might. I think she's gonna knock a little harder and kind of scream, and be like, "Stall, where are you?"
Just from inside, like muffled through the doors, like, hang on.
Yeah, perfect.
A couple minutes pass, and the bay doors open, and the music has been turned down.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
So, I met with Dr. Speed, and they had a favor to ask. Can you just sign this little toy of theirs?
In the background,
Yes, sure.
while he's like looking around and adjusting himself, in the background you see Commander Pliskin moving things back on a desk and everything, just kind of like rearranging, cleaning up a little bit.
Hey, you got a pen or a marker or some shit?
Pen?
I have one.
Yeah,
And she's gonna pop one out of her overalls and be like,
Okay, yeah,
"Here."
thanks.
And like she's embarrassed, but like also just kind of grossed out.
I just kind of like haphazardly sign along like the top end of the little minifig. Just like, yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
See you later.
Yep. And just close the door like halfway through the second. Yep.
Oh, fuck. Okay. And then she's just gonna like shake her head and then go back towards where, Dr. Speed is, because she really doesn't want to hold onto this plastic thing for too long.
Yeah, got it.
It's important and fragile.
You make your way over, and you see, as you're making your way across, you see Pinto is talking with some of the mechanics and everything. And there seems to be some laughs, some jovialness coming from like the mechanics, and you just see Pinto just like doing like a smile and a nod, looking over. It's kind of calm. This is probably like the most enthused you've seen Pinto, not in a mech that's screaming like in a death machine that's about to like explode at its limit. Just like enjoying being around people. And you stop right before you get to the pod, and you see that ice patch again. But it looks like a different color. It looks like purple-ish.
She would definitely tap it with her boot.
You tap it with
like
your...
what? Like look at it and like kick at it a little. Yeah, because that's weird.
You tap it with your boot, and then it goes back from purple back to like a normal ice patch color.
Okay. Weird. She'll like make a note of that to probably ask Dr. Speed about it later.
Mm-hmm. You make your way back to the pod. Saturday. Post talking about like that Horus deal. What do you think? I think at this point, Dr. Speed is wanting to get your thoughts on upgrading the AI around the camp, the outpost. It's next to nothing here. And they've been kind of like gauging your kind of expertise, and they've been kind of like seeing with how things are now, what's the next best step for the camp here. And they're just like saying, they're like, I have all these ideas of things that I want to do, and I want to build out the science operation, because clearly this planet is a plethora of different anomalies that need to be studied and need to be explored a little bit. But with what we have now, I mean, we're barely functioning even as a military outfit.
Well, I think that a good next step. What important, simple things could we automate?
Well, all the doors are on tracks, and you press a button, they open, but it would be nice if you came up to them, and if you had clearance, like a clearance ship or something, they would open by themselves, or... I'd hate to say it, but some of the things in the mech bay could be automated. As mechanics, they mean well, but you know how they just toss things around. And I'm sure that Harrison Armory and everything of those sorts, all of the representatives would love to have some automation in their bays.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. I know we're short on parts here. I'll talk to Malcolm and see what he's got I can work with, and I'll see if I can definitely at least get doors.
Perfect.
At least the clearance ships would take a while to work out, but at least like public area doors I could definitely get.
Perfect. That would be... And then Cinder walks in. Oh, excellent. You're back.
Back already. Yep. Here you go.
Thank you.
Hands over the...
Thank you. And like pops open the case and looks at it and goes, oh, this is perfect. Thank you so much. He goes, here.
No problem.
And like sets it down and then puts it back on its display stand and closes the cabinet and locks it and like walks back over and grabs a small potted plant that has like one of the smaller ones that has like a small plant coming out of it and goes over and hands it to you.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
It's an indica strain.
Love plants.
Yes.
Okay.
It'd be very useful.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very into that. I had a question about that ice patch that you kicked earlier.
What ice patch?
When you were walking, you kicked a little ice patch, remember, with your shoe?
Oh, yes. Quite odd, isn't it? It changes colors.
Okay, it was just purple, and that seemed very weird. So I kicked it.
Doesn't it, though? That's the thing. So when kicking it, it changes colors, and I took some samples from it, but it just seems to be normal H2O in its frozen solid state.
Do we have any idea how thick the ice is there?
Oh, I don't know if I can go drilling holes and trying to see how much the depth of an ice patch is in a military base. I'm sure Captain Doyle would have my hide for that.
We can always ask.
I'm just worried it might be like the worms. Like, what if there's like a baby one under the base? Maybe it changes color because it's close to the surface and you kick the ground and it gets scared and runs away.
Base worms. Interesting.
Base worms.
Okay. All right. I'll have to check with Captain Doyle. You know what? We'll all check with Captain Doyle. Are you all hungry?
Definitely.
Yes, very.
I think we should grab something to eat. Maybe something to drink.
Mech battles are hungry work.
Yes. You just got done with a battle. Excellent, of course. We can talk all about it. We should go to the mess hall.
Works for me.
They stand up, get ready to move to the mess hall. Riker, you've just seen that tunnel. What's your first reaction?
So, first I'm gonna, because it's hot, he's gonna take off his jacket and pull out a little glow stick, standard issue, pop it open, drop it, just try to get an idea of how deep the hole is, see if it lands.
You crack it, shake it off of your standard issue 3 glow sticks on each of your belt, and then you drop it down the hole, and you hear the clack, 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 clack. Nothing.
Huh. I better tell the others about this. I'm sure Dr. Speed wants to see it. I don't know why they didn't think to check her room. I'm gonna get up, sure I have like some mud on me, throw my jacket over my shoulder and head out.
As you head out, you see Cinder and Saturday walking with Dr. Speed towards the mess hall.
Okay, so you guys would see me or Riker like covered in mud, which is especially strange. And I'm holding
Probably
a little
rapidly
statue.
freezing mud.
I'm holding a little statue, and I'm like, "Hey, I found this, and there's mud and a hole.
Dear God.
Okay.
It's cold." He puts the statue down, puts on his jacket.
Where did you... Mud?
Where did you...
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. It's in this room right here. Come with me.
They walk over with you. Stall.
Gonna hold the door politely.
Yep.
You're cleaning yourself up, getting yourself back to regular, and Pliskin goes, I've got some calls that I have to make, some paperwork that we have to get over to you and your manager. So I'll go ahead and send that over to Sweet. Why don't you go ahead and, introduce yourself around the camp, everything like that, make a show and everything, maybe mention Harrison around a little bit, and I'll have that sent over to you. We might talk a little bit more later.
Sounds good, yeah. And once the vents are on the kill box, just let me know, and we'll get everything going.
Perfect. I'll let you know. Toot sweet.
Sounds good.
Perfect. You go ahead and make your way out of the hangar, and you see what is now a group that is congregated of Cinder and Riker and Saturday and Cattail. Dr. Speed have congregated outside of this little pod, and Riker's all muddy.
Just gonna turn on my heel and walk over with them. Like, did you go digging?
No, but someone else did. Come take a look.
All right, but I'm not getting into it.
You all walk.
Too busy for this?
You all walk over to the pod, and Riker opens up the door, and you walk in, and you see the muddy footprints, the mud all on the bed, the disheveled desk, and you see the tunnel that's in the bathroom with all the heaters. It's immense heat coming off of it. Dr. Speed goes, well, this is not standard issue, and that's using so much power output for all those heaters. I was only given one heater for my room.
Yeah, nothing about this is standard issue.
Saturday's going to reach into their coat and pull out a little tiny drone with a camera on it and be like, well, this thing can go half a mile before I lose signal from it, so why don't we see what's down there? And then just kind of toss it out, and it starts off as just like a little box. It's got a camera mounted and a little thing sticking up out of the top, and they toss it, and a little like helicopter rotor sticks out from the little thing on the top and starts spinning, and it folds out and has like little wings, and the camera drops down a little.
Wait. Dr. Speed goes, wait. Before we do this, don't you think we should secure things first? Clear this with Captain Doyle?
I'm just gonna hit the headset, just like frequency for the group to see if I can radio Pinto and Drift and be like, hey, Pinto, Drift, everybody meet up at where the fuck are we right now?
This is Pod C.
Pod C. Coming over to Pod C. We're looking at some weird shit.
Drift, you're in the mess hall, and since you've been sitting there and you've gotten your whiskey and like a nice like muffaletta sandwich from this lunch lady, She has sat down beside you, and there's just been a group of people kind of congregated around you. And I like to imagine, like, when the camera goes into, like, this mess hall, you're, like, sitting in your chair, you've got your whiskey in your hand, and you're talking about one of your last races. Just kind of, like, set up like that, like, and, like, this group is all around you.
Okay. Alright, so, as I'm coming into the corner, the magnetic strip on the bottom right side of my ship gives out. So I have to lean to the left, practically flip my vehicle into the corner, just to whip it around the next corner. Damn near died.
The lunch lady kind of, like,
Pulled it through.
taps out a cigarette, and she goes, "You made it through?
Yeah.
And you won?"
No, we didn't get that one. I got podium though.
Podium, that's all that you need. And then you hear over your radio headset, "Stall."
Jeff, Pinto, got some weird shit. Come on, come back. Come over to Pod C.
Alright, let me finish up. So, I gotta go, y'all. But,
No, come on. Oh, yeah, the weirdos. Yeah, we've seen them around. You'll be back, though, right? Right? I've got a bottle of Hibiki just for you back there. Perfect. Excellent. Excellent. And you start gathering up a little bit. Pinto, you start making your way there. Pinto, the mechanics, Anatoly is talking about a time the last planet that they're on, and how funny it is that the last planet that they were outposted on was a desert planet, and they're like, so there we are. We're on this outpost, all right? Nobody else around. We're just there, cut and dry mineral mission, just collections and everything like that, all right? And we're thinking potentially maybe, there's going to be a problem, like we're having calm interference, or like, oh, it's probably sandstorms, or maybe it's the giant scorpionids that we're having to fight a bunch. There were giant scorpions, the size of my mother's hatchback. And so they were just going in, messing with things like that. And we've had problems with the communications every single week. We go in, we look at the wires. Who's put sand in the wires? What's happening? Next thing we know, I go out to take a piss one night. I'm drunk as shit. I go over, I see something coming from over the wires of the comm relay. I'm like, oh no, Anatoly's caught the culprit. I make my way over. Do you know what I find? A little baby armadillo has made its home inside the comm relay. So I take it, and I look at you, and I say, where is your mother? Where is your father? There's no one around. Maybe Anatoly could be your new babchka. And you know what the armadillo did? It pissed on me, bit my hand, ran off into the desert dunes. I haven't seen it since. It's fucking awful. And I said that day, next time I see an armadillo, I'm not going to let it come near me. I'm going to exterminate it off of any planet that I come across. And then you hear over the comm relay.
Yeah. Jeff, Pinto, come on, weird shit over at Pod C. Where are you guys?
I just like double click the headset.
Click. You just hear the click, an acknowledgement click. He goes, okay, so that just goes to show you. Next time you see a baby armadillo, do not trust it. It's going to piss and bite.
I'll keep that in mind. They're calling me. I gotta head out. I'll see you guys later.
Of course, yes, of course we'll see you later. We'll be all around, we're doing jack shit. We're going to find Malcolm. Maybe teach Malcolm something about, Malcolm keeps saying, do you want how to do punches? And so we want to show Malcolm some punches.
Uh-oh.
You make your way out, and you see Drift coming out of the mess hall. You both kind of converge, and you go over to Pod C, where you see this group of people, your fucking group, standing around this, hole in this bathroom. And Saturday has, a drone out. Dr. Speed goes, okay, everyone's here.
Hey, welcome to the party.
Man, what the fuck did y'all do?
Riker found it.
We
like
don't know
this.
yet. but before tossing the drone and sending it down the tunnel, Saturday's gonna put a hand on Dr. Speed's shoulder and be like, God, what? Wes, remind me of the commander's name.
Captain Doyle.
Captain, yeah. Dr. Speed, Captain Doyle's not cool. And then just like have it motor on down there, shining a light in the camera, and hold the little controller with the screen up showing whatever it can see, and hold it out so everybody can watch.
Give me an investigate roll. Give me a roll and add your investigate trigger to it.
All right. That's going to be a 16.
16. You all see the drone go off the hand and it floats down. Auto lights come on as it floats down this tunnel. And it goes down, and it hangs a right. And it almost seems like this tunnel is like a slide of sorts. But you see that there's been like handholds carved into it as well on the sides. And you go down, and it goes down about a quarter of a mile. And then it opens up into this like cavern. And in this cavern, you see there are giant statues of like figures. It's hard to get detailed. They seem like eroded from time. And there's like ice columns and like stalagmites and stalactites everywhere. But the thing that stands out the most is in the far across this chamber, there seems to be like this altar of sorts. And this crystal. This giant crystal that emits different colors. And it's like, it has like a flash of purple or a flash of yellow. And then you see something move. Scurry almost. And then the camera kind of focuses on to where it scurried. And then you see something scurry again. Off to the side. And then out of the frame, almost like a jump scare, you see this figure. This humanoid, eyes white, stark against mud-covered skin, and like a tatter of like wild blonde hair that seems to be matted by mud and muck and whatever. Completely naked, grabs the drone and looks at it and starts breathing heavily and starts speaking. Like gibberish. Like utter gibberish, and looks at it and starts breathing at it and looking at it. And then the feed cuts.
Well, I think we found our missing representative.
You sure about that?
Or maybe the answer to the weird glowing ice patch? Maybe that?
Maybe that too.
I don't know what the fuck that was.
Wait, the captain said there was a private who had been investigating the representative's disappearance. Why did they not report anything about this? Are they the ones that brought all the shit in here? What?
Maybe they're missing too. We need to follow up about that. Sounds like we can just go down there and get her. That was definitely her. I recognize her from her picture over there on the desk.
That sound like a
Do we?
that sound like a person that's missing from this base to you? I don't even know what the fuck that was.
I mean, maybe something down there drove her crazy.
Yeah, and maybe we don't want to climb down and join in the crazy party.
How do we get out?
Well, I mean, if we plan something from up here, we can find a way to get down and out of there. When you're alone in the dark for a while, well, things happen. We'll get her out of there and she'll be okay.
But what about the weird altering light, though?
Yeah, I don't think she built all that herself.
Yeah, that must be more of those ruins. There's just kind of a lot to unpack here.
The only way we're going to get answers is if we go down that hole and save her.
I think we need to find out what resources we have at hand, and we probably should at least let the captain know what's going on now that we have a little more information.
Agreed.
And then Saturday's gonna, once again, tap their data plating and be like, Astucious, did you get all that video?
Roger that, Saturday. Everything logged, stored, backed up. Would you like me to transmit it somewhere?
Not yet. Let's hold on to that. What do you think the best way for us to get down there and back out safely is?
One moment. There are 1,013 different possibilities. It seems that the most efficient ones are searching through the rest of the ruins and finding if there is a backdoor way through to this chamber, or tying up Mr. Choi or King with a rope and lowering them down there with a winch connected to one of our mechs.
Understood. Thank you, Astucious.
Happy to help, Saturday.
Option B sounds faster.
How about while we do that, they get the seismic charges and map out, find more tunnels.
That's a good idea.
Great idea.
Dr. Speed. Dr. Speed goes, those seismic charges, the areas that we were finding with the worms and everything like that, that's about a mile away.
What about down here?
You want me to drop one of them down here? I only have 4.
Give me the schematics. Maybe we can build more.
Yeah, I can always try and help.
I have explosive components we could use.
Hang on. I'm not exactly a historian kind of guy, but you're talking about dropping a seismic charge down into the middle of what looks like some old-ass temple.
Oh, they're not actually charges. It's just the closest thing. They're more. You said transmitters, right?
Well, a charged transmitter, so to speak.
Go boom.
In a way, there's a transmitter that's housed in a spatial containment unit that needs an explosive charge to be able to map out everything. It uses sound waves to kind of generate a real-time map of an area.
So it goes boom and echolocates an area.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're talking about
how
dropping
big
a
is this
bomb
boom?
into the fucking
How-
Covenant shit down there.
How big is the boom? Well, that is wholly determinant on the amount of explosives I used. And
Could we
that was about...
take some of the explosive out?
Well, then you would just have
good
it...
at things like that.
Potentially, I guess you could remove some of the explosive, but then you wouldn't get the full potential of the seismic charge.
Well, if we can at least get, like, the immediate surrounding area, that could help a lot.
How big's the
And
explosion?
like I said, we could...
It
Well-
sounds like a pretty decent explosion.
Well, when I went to the Master at Arms and I said, I need something that's going to help us combat the worms, he kind of just shoved a box in my hands and said, use this. And so I used that. I spread it out evenly amongst the 4.
Okay, that's probably too much then.
I'm so glad the
here.
scientific process is working for you.
Why don't we...
Hypothesis.
Why don't you give me the schematics? Okay.
Okay.
Hypothesis.
Okay. Pulls out a
you give
CBD
me
pen.
The schematics. I'll send them over to Astucia.
Uh-huh.
I'll send them over to Astucius, have him analyze them, and then run some simulations to see about what the distance we can get of echolocation for any given amount of explosive might be.
Okay, that's a start. What are we going to do about Mrs.
All right.
Lockhart?
I'll drop down and get her.
Ooh, not
Hey.
I'm going down.
Are you sure? Could be dangerous.
I got it.
That's exactly why he wants to go. Have you
Saturday.
met this man?
All right, Pinto.
Yes,
You got it.
Astucius.
Look, we can both go down if you clip on higher up.
I was just about to say, it might be best for both of them to go down. It could be that Private Jensen is down there as well, or maybe in her fits of preeminent understanding, Mrs. Lockhart might be a bit much for them both to handle. The human body is capable of much more things once the potential of their brain is untapped or tapped.
Understood.
Right. I'll get my rifle and we can suit up and head down.
I'll get the winch ready.
Definitely also let Doyle know. A little
Yeah.
bit.
Wait like 20 minutes after we start.
No, we need to bring Doyle in on this. I mean,
Okay,
we've been
put
paid
it
to
in.
do a job, and this seems to fall right into it, so I don't see why they would object at all. I can go get him.
All right. So how are we breaking this up?
I think if Riker and Pinto are both going down, ICEBOX should probably stand by to run the winch. Saturday and Dr. Speed go to run simulations on explosives and such. Maybe Stahl and Drift go talk to the people in charge.
We could talk to people in charge, or we can scout the area to try to find those alternate routes, depending on how we're feeling.
That
That
sounds like a
too.
perfect job for
Somebody-
Drift.
Okay, yeah, because Drift and Stall
Somebody-
have some of the most mobile mechs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody should take their mech and stomp on that ice patch in the middle of the base and see if it connects to that chamber.
Yeah, I think Drift and HELLBEAST should both go scout. That sounds like an awesome idea. I back that.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Down for that.
Okay. So, order of operations. All right. So we've got Saturday and Speed going over some simulations to work out some schematics to help retool these different things like that. Pinto is going to go grab a winch from his mech. And Saturday is going to help operate with that. Is gonna operate that, and Pinto and Wraith are going to connect, and then Stahl and or Cinder. Sorry, not Saturday. Cinder is going to help operate that, and then Drift and Stahl, Drift and HELLBEAST are going to go scout in their mechs. As you all move and you're starting to break out, and you move out, you see, like, Pinto, you go off and you walk right past Captain Doyle, and who is walking towards the mess hall, and like she has like her coat, her collar up, and everything like that, eye patch, and goes, "Oh, I was just going to find you. I just met up with your sergeant, Heracles. He said that he was going to meet you all in the mess hall. We are having chili quiles tonight."
Hey, Stahl? Can you come to me?
Yeah, what's Zach? Hey, Drift. I'll be there in a second, and I'll cut off.
Walk out. You cut off and you walk over to where Pinto and you see Captain Doyle is like, if you haven't had our chili killies, Maud's chili killies are like the best. It's like you're tasting it right back at home, like your mother's made them. Have you ever had them before? Stall, you walk up.
Oh, good, you told her.
Yes, we were just talking about chili killies. We were going to meet up with your CO, Heracles. We just had a good talk, and he was going to go to your bunkhouse, to his bunkhouse, and take care of everything, and then meet up back with.
You didn't tell her. You didn't tell her.
Tell me what?
I just back away.
Spot on job base, and I'll just pat Doyle in the back and just walk Doyle towards
The
towards
Met.
Pod C where Riker and all them were.
Oh God, perfect. All right, perfect.
So, yeah. All right. So, we're doing a bit of work,
Okay.
looking into all the stuff we were talking about,
Oh, excellent.
and so we got a bit of an update for you.
Perfect.
And about that time, we'll get to Pod C, and Riker here will fill you in on it. I'll just like kind of pass her off into the pod and then head back towards the mech.
And she goes, yes, Heracles was wondering where you had all gone, and I was figuring you were all going to take a break after such a harrowing battle. I didn't know you were going to get on the job immediately. Oh my dear God!
Door shut. Bye-bye.
The door shuts, and like, so Pinto's going to the back. Y'all are going to the bays and everything like that.
I got shit to do. Bye-bye.
And she's like, what have you done to this room? This is so expensive.
It was like this when we came in here.
It was like this when you came here. What are you, some child that's broken a plate?
No. How dare you?
You're right, that's rude. Is that shit or mud?
I think it's mud. And someone's been keeping this room really hot so it doesn't melt.
I can tell it
Breathe, so
smells
yeah.
awful
Yeah,
in
it's not
here.
good. Uh-huh.
Oh, that might be the space grease. I've got to get lubed up before I can put the parts in.
Jesus fucking Christ.
But we might have found Mrs. Lockhart. Your rep, she's in the hole in the ground. We took some drone footage. So we're gonna go try and get her back.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me she dug a tunnel? She dug a tunnel?
Someone dug a tunnel.
To be honest, it looks like the work of those worms.
Work of a worm.
But there's
In the base?
animals.
Well, I mean, she climbed down.
I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to
That's not surprising.
handle this. Everything's going so... What? I need to sit down. And she like sits down in the chair by the desk and she goes, oh my God, what is happening? She looks over and there's like a tiny like decanter, like a small decanter of some brown liquid. And she just grabs it and takes the stopper off and just like drinks it and goes, oh my God. Oh my God.
Listen, hey, it's okay. It's okay. Pinto and I are going to go down into that hole and we're going to find whatever's down there and we're going to take care of this for you.
Yes.
You go take care of this. And he's going to like push the canteen towards her.
Yes, of course. I've got to update Heracles on your situation. We were supposed to have chili killies tonight, all of us together.
Chili Keelies, yeah. Everyone needs to know.
Yeah, maybe you go catch up with him. We'll be here.
We're gonna cut over.
Probably something
Go
better
ahead.
now than later.
Now then later.
That's all.
Yes. And she stands up. We're gonna cut over to Drift and Pinto and HELLBEAST all going over to the mech bay and like hopping in their mechs. And you see Malcolm going, "Whoa, whoa, hey, hey! You're not cleared to go. What are you doing?" You're like all climbing up in the ladders.
Yeah, we've got some scouting to do, Malcolm. We'll bring it back one piece, don't worry.
Scouting? I wasn't told. Does Heracles know about this?
part of the debriefing. Hey, did the Harrison folks get the vents on this thing already?
Yeah! They went ahead! Came through! Said move the fuck out of the way! Oh.
Perfect. Then she's good to go. Thanks, buddy.
Oh my god!
I'll get in, close the top.
Son of a... Emil! What are you doing? You see, like, Pinto climbing into the mech and just, like, starting it up.
Smoking mech.
You're smoking mech, yeah. I'm just doing repairs! Oh my god! Drift. You run over, slide in, and you just hear the...
It's a science experiment.
Oh my... What is happening? What is happening?
I just powered up and just put on some music just to drown out the sound of Malcolm freaking out outside.
You wanna
Perfect.
come watch? I need an audience.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. It just like starts falling over. Pinto, you start moving your mech over. It's kind of smug. Yeah.
And I
You
go,
just-
hey, Mal, be cool, man. We got it.
Mal just goes, be cool. Got it. All right. Just moves over.
I think you're getting through to him, Drift.
I love him so much.
Saturday, and you and Dr. Speed are going to their tent, their pod, and everything. Drift, you and HELLBEAST, you see, you start making your way back towards behind the command pod, where you see that there's like some of the ice has given way to like this ancient stone structure where there's like just some ice from like the wind and like all the moisture pushing through. So you see like these, it looks like waves that are frozen into this opening that's behind the command post. And you see there's about like 4 guards standing in front of it, and they're all going, whoa, 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 as like you and Drift are coming up, HELLBEAST.
We got a scouting mission to do. We're gonna need you to move out of the way, please.
What's clear? What's cleared for it? And I just imagine that you both just like just just move right past and they go, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yep, just keep on going, keep on going.
Just keep on moving. Pinto, you pull up the mech, the smoking mech, and you set it right outside the pod. You slide out, I'm guessing, grab the winch. And then Riker, you've made your way, I'm assuming, over towards your mech now. And Anatoly goes over to you and goes, what the fuck is happening here?
You want to see something stupid?
Of course, every single day of my life. Cinder, you make your way over towards to the snake. It's Snake 433, correct? Yeah. Make your way over to Snake 433, Pinto's mech, and I'm sure there's going to be a breakdown of what to do, how to handle. It's a winch, but you know everything like that. Pinto's grabbing the winch over there. Riker, what are you grabbing from your stuff? And a cutting torch. Okay, no. What are you?
To the roof.
So I am getting, I'm getting my weapons.
Okay.
So I'm getting my assault rifle, I'm getting my handgun, I'm getting a knife. I'm grabbing extra rations, my wilderness survival kit, some mag clamps, and then of course a one of those like little sheets of graph paper to write things on, a pencil because regardless of gravity, those still work. Pencil sharpener, some glow sticks. Anything else that's kind of standard issue, and then of course a little thing of space grease just for moisturizer in case my skin gets dry.
I imagine there's like this table that has like these tools and there's like cans of oil and stuff like that over on it, and you just kind of like move that shit over, and then you roll out your go bag that has all your weapons in it, and there's just like the scene of like move past the slide and the rifle, bring out the magazine, bring out the magazine. Pop out the round that's in there. Look at it, double check it, put it in, lock it back in, grab your sidearm and look at it, and do all this testing it out, seeing the sights and everything like that. Do the same thing with that. Put that over. Then you grab your pencil, put that in there. All your other stuff, grab it in there and everything like that. And the mechanics are like, what the fuck is going on? You make your way back over to where Pinto has his shit, grabbing it out of his bag and everything. He doesn't do like the systematic check that you're doing. Just grabs it. He knows what's in there. Just slings it over his shoulders. Grabs carabiner and then like hooking it on to like the winch rope and everything like that. Pinto, I'm assuming you're going first, right?
Yeah.
Of course. You clip it on your belt, like the end of the winch on your belt, and then slot.
The assault hard suit on.
Oh, you've got the hard suit on. Okay, yeah, so you can just clip it onto your own.
I like the risk. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, you go ahead, like you're getting your hard suit on. You see, Riker is now making sure that his joints are all good and lubed up as he's getting into his hard suit as well, getting ready to clip on. Saturday, I'm going to need you to give me an invent or create roll, please.
All right. For what exactly?
You're going over these simulations and stuff, right? The schematics and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to need to get that with your grit and everything.
With grit, yes. Okay.
Yes.
Oh wow. Let's see. With grit and my inventor create, that's a 21. No, that's a 22.
Excellent. So that's critical. Goes over as we've learned. It's the compiled result, not roll, that makes criticals. Excellent. You and Dr. Speed are going over, like, they bring up the schematics and everything like that, and you're able to figure out that they use what is exactly the amount of explosions that is in 2 standard issue blocks of C4 in each of these depth charges. So you're quickly figuring out how to reduce that, knock it down to like maybe 1 might be better, or a half might be better. And repurposing that, so you're going to be able to. So what's going to essentially happen from this roll is you're going to make those depth charges so they're a lot more efficient. So they're not just explosive. So they're going to be a lot more like just efficient for what you need to use for your next mission. That's going to give you a benefit on your next mission. You've also gained 2 blocks of C4, like 2 blocks of C4 to use for your team to use for your further mission.
All right.
HELLBEAST, Drift. You're making your way into that mouth of that cavern, and you notice that it is a man-made formation, and you see what Doyle was talking about ruins. You see that, like, these fingers are, like, this mountainous, like, growth that it's grown over time, and it provided shelter for these ruins, but the amount of time that has gone past since there's been anybody living here, that the ice has kind of formed a cave over these, like, archaic and ancient stone buildings that have had like the wood rotten away from them. And you're making your way was essentially down a street, and you see these small, like, squat stone structures. And you notice I need you both to give me a d20 roll, and I think you could both utilize either stay cool or get there quickly get somewhere quickly would probably be good. If y'all wanted to use your triggers.
Is that including the grid or no?
Including grit, yes. You should be using grit. Just
14.
Yeah, you should be using grit on all of your rolls from here on out. Now that y'all have it, you're license
Cool,
level
then.
1. Yeah. So 14.
So that just adds like plus to the roll.
Yeah.
That adds on top of the roll, on top of your trigger.
So, on top of the trigger too. All right, so I guess I use stay cool.
Perfect.
So that's like +4.
Perfect.
And
Yes.
then, like I rolled a 13 plus the grid. So
18?
yeah, 18.
18. Perfect. You're both quickly making your way through streets and everything. And you notice it starts going in a decline. Like, the streets start going in a decline. And you start sliding a little bit. Your mech, they haven't been calibrated really for, like, ice just yet. And so they slide a little bit, but you both manage. It's almost like you are drifting into a turn, almost around. And so, like, you're kind of sliding as you're running, almost like you're ice skating, and you're using your mech's hands to kind of keep yourself stable, pushing off of these buildings a little bit, leaving like slight handprints in this rubble, in these ruins. And you notice that the streets are leading towards what seems to be a former hole in the ground, but there's been ice that has formed over it. And there's also caution tape and sawhorses in front of it. It's like a stay away.
Going down?
You want to wait till we get other people first? You want to just, or you want to stream some hot shit?
Do you have to ask?
What's wrong?
So, Wes, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue the motion. I'm gonna kick on the Type I flight system for the rest of my flight there.
Okay.
Just to build heat.
Got it.
As I get up to it.
Perfect.
And then still in the air, once I hit the ice patch, I'm gonna kick the explosive vents on to just blast heat straight down.
Okay, so you got the Type I flight. Okay, so you get +1 heat at the end of your turns when you fly this way. Go ahead and give me that roll for the heat vents, the explosive vents there. So you gotta clear all your heat or take stress. Your mech's cooling vents open, and you're gonna unleash a 1 radius explosion. Characters within the affected area take 2 heat and 2 flame damage. There's no characters, so the ice wall itself is gonna take it. Perfect. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Perfect. Go ahead and give me a roll. Add your grit and add your. Go ahead.
Should I add what? Add like show off or something else?
Let's go ahead and just use your systems. Your systems roll for this.
Okay. 15.
15. Drift. You kind of make some room for HELLBEAST as you see. If you've ever seen Attack on Titan, the Colossal Titan, when there's like smoke coming off of it a little bit, you start seeing Killbox, this mech, start having smoke kind of start pouring from these new exhaust vents that are coming from it. And he starts picking up speed as he starts running directly into this, towards this like ice wall. And at the last possible second, he turns over, almost like a grapevine motion in the mech, and then stops right in front of the ice wall, using all that momentum in that pool, and unleashes all of the exhaust from his mech into that ice wall, and you just see it blast through and blast out into like icy chunks and melty chunks. Let's cut back to Pinto, Cinder, ICEBOX, and Wrath. Pinto and Wrath, you are connected to the winch. You're getting ready to roll. ICEBOX, you've got the winch controls. You've kind of made a way so that you don't have to actually chill out in the mech. You can kind of like hang off the side and like keep an eye on things. What are you guys doing?
Are you guys good to go?
Pinto says, so yeah, we're ready.
Excellent.
All right, let's go.
I'm going to need both of you to roll me a d20, first of all, and use any associated skills that you think would help you in going down, or any skill triggers that would help you going down this hole in the ground.
I have to get somewhere quickly.
I've
Perfect.
survived.
Perfect. Go ahead and make your rolls. Make sure to add your grit as well as those triggers.
Got a natural
12.
7. It's a 10. I'm so scared.
Okay, 10 and a 12. Immediately, Pinto, you're the first one. You're at the end of this winch. How do you go down this tunnel?
So I've got Mom's revolver out,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm cranking up my boombox.
Perfect. You got this like, it sounds like CCR a little bit, like just like this kind of like boogie southern rock kind of like style music playing over.
Good shit.
Wait, is that like echoing through the tunnel at all?
Yes. I don't
Yes,
care.
definitely.
We have to announce our presence.
Yep.
No, Wrath will hop on the comms. Pinto, we're gonna have to cut that off. We could be alerting
I
something.
can't hear you.
As your tongue, as soon as you say Pinto, we have to cut that off, and you just feel yourself get pulled as you see Pinto just like go, what? I can't hear you, and immediately just step into the tunnel and just start sliding in. ICEBOX, you see the winch start whirring, and then Wrath, you're pulled towards the hole, and you get yourself tight enough that you just start sliding down, and like you've got like the elbow pads hitting up against the tunnel. You see the handholds that Saturday was talking about along the side. As you two start sliding down this tunnel, and then you two hear a blast from somewhere distant. Saturday, you and Dr. Speed are working on this, and like you're like, you think you've got the algorithm right, everything like that, so you're going to be able to like go ahead and parse out all of like the C4 situation when you hear a blast come from the distance, from like further down away from the camp, and then Dr. Speed looks and goes, "Oh God, was that them?"
I'm almost certain that was them.
Everybody that's gone further into like the ruins or the tunnel, it's kind of crackly for you, but immediately over your like shortwave comm systems, you hear a.
This is Heracles Garza. Copy. This is Heracles Garza. What was that?
Sorry, can you come again? You're breaking up on me.
What was that explosion? What are they doing out of there?
And it just like cuts off. Go ahead.
I'll call you back.
ICEBOX. You look at the mess hall and you see your CO Heracles Garza runs out, like grabbing his like big like coat, like the collared coat that he has, and like wrapping on like his neck wrap and everything like that. His cybernetic arm is like on the fritz. It's like readjusting itself to the temperature and everything like that. And like he kind of like slides out of the mess hall and he looks at you and he goes, "Cinder," and like starts like stomping over to you.
I don't know why everyone's getting so mad at me today.
And he goes, and he runs over and he goes, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Didn't you talk to Captain Doyle? She was supposed to talk to you about this.
What?
We think we found Mrs. Lockhart.
You think you found what? Why are things exploding? What's happening? Are there mechs gone? Nobody was cleared from mech. I thought we were doing R&R. We just had a battle. What? It's Chilaquiles night, apparently.
That's really exciting, but something came up.
Why is that
I
winch?
hate to say it.
Why is that winch going to that pod?
Do you want to look in the pod? Because there's also a tunnel through the pod, and that's where we think Mrs. Lockhart is, because we found her on a drone.
He sighs and he starts walking over towards the pod.
This is what we're getting paid for.
Drift and HELLBEAST. Drift, you follow up behind HELLBEAST. HELLBEAST just kind of like comes up from like, there's like smoke kind of rising from all the exhaust vents, and you hear the and just like kind of settles. What y'all doing?
Nice. Where you get those?
Harrison, letting me test drive the product before I sign on for a full deal. I like it so far.
Into the way as always. I see.
I got a brand to maintain.
I see. What you got going on over here?
As you turn and you look, you turn your sensors on and your auto lights come on your mechs, and you see this looks like the rest of the ruins, and it looks like there was like a tunnel that went further into the fingers of it like goes into like what would be the palm of Dailor's fingers, this outcropping. But it seems oozier. Like there's some kind of organic material that's grown on some of the ruins in here.
This looks like more science shit that the others would have a better idea of.
Exactly. This don't look right at all.
Nah. No, it doesn't. And I'm gonna step further in.
You step further in, and like it gets quiet. Like it's like the echo, the sound echo of like your exhaust vents going off or have like kind of dissipated, and you can kind of see there's like a buildup of tissue, some kind of goop kind of hanging from like the ceilings, and it seems like parts of these buildings have been tunneled out. And you start moving forward, and you can see there's a downward, there's like steps that lead down that seem big enough for your mechs that like lead down further into like a lower area.
I'm gonna try to radio back for Saturday. I don't know how the signal is further in, but I'm gonna try anyway. Hey, Weekender, you copy?
West GM decision. Does that get through to me?
Slightly. It's kind of broken up, but you can hear it slightly.
Yeah, I hear you. You're kind of choppy. What's going on?
Found some ruins. Weird shit here. Turn on my stream. You'll see what I'm seeing.
Saturday will
Dr. Speed.
roll their eyes.
Dr. Speed goes, I've already had it brought up in a different tab, and goes over to their holo computer, brings it up, and brings up the stream. And you can see it's kind of choppy, but it's still like, it's just a latency issue, you know, not too bad. And you can see like the chat going off and being like, is that goop? Oh, damn, like all this other stuff, like just going off. Like if you've ever seen like a Dr. Disrespect stream or anything like that, where it's like, you can't even keep track of the chat. Like, why are people even chatting? It's like, what's the point? And they're like, oh shit, exhaust pens. And you see Harrison Armory, Best Armory, and things like that, like all this stuff like going off. We cut back to Pinto and Wrath. You're sliding down for a little bit. And you keep sliding and sliding and sliding. And finally, Pinto, you see the light towards your feet. As you both, like, slide out of this tunnel. Go ahead and give me some rolls here. To do, like, a get somewhere quickly or a survive skill trigger with your grit. 14, perfect.
22.
22. Critical. As you and, like, Pinto, you land first, and then, like, Wrath, you slide out, you immediately unclip yourself, and then, like, do, like, a roll, and you come out to, like, you're Leon Kennedy or Chris Redfield. Like, immediately, like, you're sliding down, you hit, your feet hit, you roll, and you've already got your weapon up, and you're just kind of scanning the area. Like, very tactical, soldier-like.
While I'm doing that, I'm gonna like turn off my radio and mumble to myself. I mean, I like loud music too in the bathtub, but who listens to it while they're working?
And you're finally getting
somewhere Drift and HELLBEAST just went like, what the fuck?
You're finally getting the scope of this room. It's this giant room that looks like a cathedral of sorts. And you can see that there's areas where used to be like stained glass, but it's been broken and frozen over. And it seems that like there's been a natural cave growth over all of this. It seems old, it seems ancient. And you realize that the statues of these figures that you see, they're carved from stone, and it seems to be men in robes with great beards. And one's holding his hand up like this. And you realize that it's all of the same man. And his beard comes down, and it kind of wraps, and you see they're just giant forms of that smaller statuette that you found. And it's like that mirrored crystalline glass in each of their torsos. And you can kind of see light reflect refracting and like glowing off of it and kind of moving.
Does any of this resemble the statue that I found on the desk?
Definitely. They're like direct copies of that. That just seems like a smaller version of these.
Just wanted to make sure. Yeah.
And you look out.
Dead space now.
You look forward and you see that crystal at the end, and it has glowing off. And I want to. So, I wish I could have the rights to the soundtrack to Annihilation, but I do not have the rights to the soundtrack to Annihilation. But I kind of want that imagery to go over as you kind of hear the danger, do not operate. And you're kind of looking over and you see this crystal at the end of the form, and it's making like, it has like different like shimmers coming off of it, and like there's some kind of essence coming off of it. And you see a scurrying happening, going from like one statue farther down by the crystal and like dives behind the altar.
Pinto,
Yeah, I'm turning the
Lee.
music down.
cut the music.
We're turning it down. I'm not cutting it.
Fine. Hold your fire. Let's not make any more noise than we need to.
I'm assuming you're making your way further, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna count that as oh, I can't. I'm not in my Mac. My bad.
Mm-hmm. You start making your way further down. Drift, HELLBEAST. You're making your way down those steps. And you see that the ice has kind of formed over, and you see that it's like a lower city to these ruins. And you see that this is more intact than the other parts of the city. Full buildings where you see that it's almost been frozen in time. And you see that the growth, this organic growth, is much more prevalent here. And you're looking around, and then you see there's like this pod, almost like a cocoon-like, that's hanging off of like a bell tower. That's very close to one of your, not very close, but I'd say about 20 yards away from your mech, HELLBEAST.
Hey, Drift.
Yo.
You ever watch any like old 20th century horror movies?
Yeah.
Kind of feels like Alien right there. Just point over with the mech arms towards the pod hanging off of the tower.
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
I don't
Excellent.
like that at all.
Excellent. And you see that pod, that cocoon-like thing, start to shake, start to move a little bit. And then, Drift, you see another one a little bit further down that's on the ground, and it starts to move a little bit.
Son of a bitch. I'm gonna pull out the Cyclone Pulse rifle from the mech's back and just ready it.
You ready for the stuff to start flowing?
Let's make it good for the viewers.
ICEBOX.
Let's go.
You can kind of hear some kind of like, you can hear, even though it's kind of distant, you can hear them talking a little bit. It's muffled, but you can hear them talking. It's like making its way up the tunnel that they just slid down. Wrath, Pinto, you're walking towards the scurrying that went behind the altar. You got your guns up and everything, but it's kind of like, you know, like not like the I'm ready to shoot, but like approaching a target. And then you see another scurrying from behind the further statue by the altar. And you see, assuming it's Mrs. Lockhart, like roll out from behind the statue, covered in that mud before that you saw in the drone feed. Wild eye in her look. Like a wild look in her eyes. And she has a rifle of her own, but it seems organic. Like, shell-like.
Mrs. Lockhart. I'm gonna point point the flashlight on my my tactical flashlight on my tactical pulse rifle towards her, like kind of gesturing towards her knees. Mrs. Lockhart?
And she starts speaking that language that you can't understand. You can't trace it. It's nothing that you've heard in the Union. And she's speaking it really loudly.
I'm going to interrupt her and say, whatever that is you have in your hands, put it down. We're here to rescue you. You can come back with us.
And you look over to the other side because you start hearing a and you see cocooned up on the other side of the statue that you couldn't see, a gentleman wearing a NSC uniform. And he's like it's in Aliens. And he's like kind of like spittled up on this wall. And he's like, you've gotta run. You've gotta run now. And Mrs. Lockhart is still shouting in that language.
Can we get you out?
And he goes, you don't understand what's happening. You've got to go now. You've got to tell the captain. You've got to tell the... And we cut back to Drift and HELLBEAST. And I want you to imagine these scenes almost side by side. Like it just kind of cut into... Like we're doing some Steven Soderbergh kind of like style editing. And you see this guy shaking and he falls off of the cocoon. And you see those cocoon pods open that are in the streets. And you can see there's about 4 of them. And bodies fall out. And they seem to be like naked bodies. And they just kind of fall on the ground. And then they start moving and twitching and shaking. And we're seeing it side by side. This soldier that just fell on the ground is moving and shaking and twitching. And then all of a sudden, almost like in tandem, like it's a hive mind, their right arm moves up. And you can hear bones break. And the left arm moves up. And bones break. And then you see something splinter out of the back. Like it's 2 arms. Like these mandible arms splinter out of their back. And then arms splinter out of their arms that look like pincers. And they come up and you see something's grown out. This organic material has grown out of their rib cage. And their mouths split open wide. And they all give out a scream at the same time. A shriek. And Dr. Lockhart looks at you, Wrath, and like kind of lowers her weapon that she has, and in one word says, quintessence. And then turns her rifle towards the guard that fell on the ground that has turned into this creature. And that is where we're going to end our episode for this evening. I would like to thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much to Q Times for that big raid. I'm sorry that we're winding it up really well. We're winding up here at the end, but yeah, this Crack the Sky Alpha, a Lancer actual play. I would like to thank all the players for tonight. And I would like to thank y'all for watching. We will not be back next Sunday, like I said at the top of the show, because we have Virtual HorrorCon this upcoming weekend with Gehenna Gaming. So check out www.virtualhorrorcon.com where you can see the schedule for all the actual plays. You can see the schedule for panels and also sign up for some games that are being run by our professional game masters. There's tons of games happening that weekend. Go ahead and grab a ticket. Go ahead and check out some workshops. We have private workshops happening. We have a vendor and artist alley. The whole thing is being sponsored by Drive-Thru RPG, Astral Tabletop, and Vajra Roleplay or Vajra Tabletop. And And proceeds, we're paying all of our game masters. We're also sending proceeds to Black Girls Code and Blind Cat Rescue. So go ahead and check that out. It is this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 19th through the 21st. You'll see some of these people that around me. That'll be in it, around it, everything like that. Before we get out of here, I want these lovely people to go ahead and let us know where we can find you. Let's start with Stall, HELLBEAST.
Hey, I'm Zak Vaudo. I've been Stall Imperium, HELLBEAST. That is my Twitter handle down there in the name tag. You can find me on Tuesdays at ATL by night, 8 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/ATL by night. Vancouver Adjacent is going to be on a break, but we have our finale episode on Saturday over on levelup_TTV on Twitch. I'll also be at Virtual HorrorCon. I am definitely going to be in the Contagion Chronicle finale on Friday. And no idea if I'll be in anything else, but if not, you will see me in the chat in a variety of things. Follow me on Twitter and follow Virtual HorrorCon to see what else we'll be up to.
Excellent. All right, and let's go with Weekender.
Hey everybody, I'm Zeke. I have been Saturday Weekender Vesper. What do I have to plug? Oh, I am the founder and president of We Are Games, which you can find on Twitter at the handle underneath my face down there. We are going to be doing our premiere public playtest of our own original tabletop RPG called To War at Virtual HorrorCon. We've got a game set up all 3 days of the con at 7:30 each day. If you want more information about that, you can check out our Twitter. I just tweeted out an advertisement about it earlier today. And it'd be really awesome if you guys came and joined us and gave it a shot.
Excellent. Drift, Corolla 11.
All right. I am Corolla 11, Drift. I'm the Phasing Octopus. My Twitter handle is down there. On every other piece of social media, I am the Phasing Octopus. I say the whole thing, like a Octopus, name Slickback. You can catch me on Twitch. I stream video games and music production, sometimes some synth jam sessions. I have music everywhere. You can find it. I also have some music on here. That's it.
Excellent. Next, Pinto.
Hey, I play Emil King, also known as Pinto. I will be GMing on Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, a game of Orpheus for a group of people. Some of them are known as the Lamias. They stream a vampire game. The Primogen, and Neil Ramon Price, the line developer for Scion. So please check out my game about ghost hunting. It should be pretty cool. Also, hit me up on our Discord. It's a cool place. And we mostly just shitpost there.
We've also got a Valheim server. We've got a dedicated Valheim server. So if you play Valheim, come play Valheim with us. Yeah, excellent. All right, and then after that, we've got ICEBOX.
So I'm Leslee. I play Cinder Atlas, aka ICEBOX. You can find me here, and then you can also find me. I'm part of a podcast called Hot Garbage Gaming. Catch us wherever you listen to podcasts. I just posted a new episode, so catch us there.
Excellent. And last but certainly not least, Riker Wrath Choi.
Hello, my name is Oz. I play Riker Choi, aka Wrath. On the show, which is the only thing I have going on in my life as far as anyone is concerned. My partner, however, is much more interesting than me and does amazing TTRPG character art that I'm going to plug. You can follow them on Twitter at Lil Smol SMOL, like Lil Smol Bean, Lil Smol Fox Draws on Twitter. They make incredible TTRPG character art, lots of cool stuff.
I went ahead and dropped that Twitter right there in the chat. And also, If you want to catch up on this show, you can see the VOD down below. It's all categorized and everything like that. This is where this will be for the next 60 days. And also on Wednesday, this episode will be on our YouTube. You can catch that with YouTube right there at that link. It's not going to do it. There we go. There it is right there on the chat right there. It's also, all of our links are down below. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/Carrion Comfort Studios. We have merch where you can get your 1-800-COMFORT It's Coming Soon shirt. I wore it because of Valentine's Day. As well as you can get multitudes of other stuff. Also, I can tell everybody here. So you see over in the right-hand corner there, you see all these logos and stuff for all these fine folks here. You also see this logo that's down below me, and you see this other logo. I'm currently in the process of finishing up the designs for merch for the show. I'm going to be finalizing some stuff for everybody. I'm going to be getting some slogans or call signs that I want to put on it. So I want their logo, and I want like a slogan or call sign below it. So if you want to check out any of that stuff, it's going to be going live in the coming weeks. Here, once I finalize with everybody, all the merch that you purchase that is oriented to a show, whether it be Kingdom Hearts Interstitial War, or like Rage Across Birmingham, or Iron City by Night, or this show, or any of our future programs that are coming up, all that money that is like made like subs during this show, or any of that money that is made for merch that's specifically for that show, that gets pushed back into the show. That means we start being able to put money into paying music artists. That means we get to be paying artists for artwork. That means we get to be able to pay these people. All the money that goes for the Patreon, I'm trying to build it up so I can start paying these wonderful, wonderful people that are to my left here, so that we can go ahead and start getting tabletop role players and creators and indie developers and everything like that paid for all the time and energy that they put into these games. So if you like to see more stuff like this, then please, please, please do consider purchasing a t-shirt, a sticker, a hoodie, or something like that. It all gets kicked back to this program here. That's all I've got to say. I will see you at some point. You might be seeing me on Thursday before Virtual HorrorCon. We might be doing a little pre-con hangout. So if you want to come and join in the shenanigans, we might be playing a lot of different games on stream, hanging out, getting ready for the convention, cutting up. Come hop in our Discord. And if you want to talk about the show, come hop in the Discord. We'll catch you guys later. Have an excellent Happy Valentine's Day. Have an excellent Happy Valentine's Night. And do not forget that comfort comes soon. Thank you very much.